Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Andromeda Adventures for Session 4 of the Endara campaign. I am once again joined by the wonderful Nick, Kovac, Evan, David, and James for our session today. Hey, guys, nice to see you guys again. Uh, tonight, we unfortunately are not joined by Kyle. Um, he's having some work trouble, but we miss you. We hope you have a wonderful night, Kyle. Sorry that you're stuck at work. We'll be talking to you soon. And other than that, I did want to say for any of our newer viewers or recent followers, if you would like to watch any of our past episodes, you can look us up on YouTube, Andromeda Adventures or the Endara campaign. You can find us there and you can watch all of the past episodes. So check it out. And other than that, I don't think there are any more announcements. So, Westora, would you mind catching us up on what happened last time?
Well, last time began with a dream. Um, the dream was quite strange, quite odd. There was shadows being chased, and it was quite frightening. And then there was a tower, and I think it was burning, something like that. And then afterwards, we all sort of woke up. I came by the room; they were fine. I seemed a little bit panicky. I went back to bed. The next day, we were beginning our trip, our for Jill, um, uh, to act as bait for this Godric person, and we arrived at the carriages. And despite Hadrian's incredible rudeness to our host, um, a an Antoine, um, who was a very nice person as far as I could tell, we sort of began a journey to head out. Um, um, Part of that journey did involve um, me approaching a few people and trying to help understand a bit of what's going on, because quite frankly it's very confusing, but I think that there is some sort of connection we all share, certainly some event in my past, which quite frankly I don't remember, but certainly Komos thinks I do. Anyway, so we began the journey, and it did not take us long for the bait to work, and Godric appeared, and a fight sort of began, and it was quite interesting. Because the fight didn't last for very long before Hadrian came out and sort of appealed towards Godric. Godric wanted us to go in some sort of circle thing to teleport us elsewhere. I was not okay with that. Quite frankly, we are here for Jill to show up and deal with this Godric person. Again, Hadrian seems to be somewhat sympathetic towards him, and Godric referred to him as like brother, all sorts of things like that. And we did learn a bit more about Godric. He's some sort of, I don't know, part of an old order of some sort, some before the gods arrived or something along those lines. And there was a fight and a war, and he got imprisoned, and he's back. He says it's to bring sort of, to fight the wrongs of the gods, but quite frankly, he just seems to be out for revenge, in my opinion. It did strike me as quite interesting. I noted that he there's this shadow thing, and it seems to be tied to him and Hadrian for that matter, because some big creepy black wing thing sort of came out of him with an eye. It was quite odd. And anyway, so I think that he was imprisoned, and while imprisoned, probably encountered whatever this sort of black thing is, and made some sort of pact. He kept sort of referring or seemed to be listening or talking to somebody that we couldn't see. So yes, that sort of thing. Anyway, so we talked for a while, and I was quite upset because it seemed like he was going on and on about all this sort of stuff about justice, and he was really just, quite frankly, a pissy little asshole. Um, and so I was quite happy that I managed to buy enough time for Jill to appear, and that's where we left off.
All right, yes. And as we left off, Jill walked in, as you said that you think Godric is a pissy little asshole, and Jill walked in and said, I couldn't have said it better myself. And as you guys are sitting around this sort of improvised campfire not far from the caravans and carriages where everything was taken, Antoine and the other surviving law mage and priest have been tied up and left there. You guys have been interacting with Godric. To the northeast of you, deeper in the woods, you can see stepping out of the shadows Gilles of House Prismari and 5 law mages, seemingly prepared for battle, ready to fight. As Gilles walks up, "Oh, Wester, you've done such a wonderful job. You and Garth really did play him for a fool, didn't you? Oh, finally we have a chance to imprison you. You managed to get away from us that night, but not this time. Not with their help." Godric kind of looks at them, looks to you, and says, "Of all men else do I condemn thee," as he looks at Gilles. "But get thee back, lest my patience fail to blackened rage. You," and he gestures at all of you, "you fated 6 were skilled to set a trap for me, but who is trapped, we will see. 'Tis interesting to see you here, good Sir Gilles. I thank you for calling me to this world. In mad attempt to harness great power, you used these 3 to forge a crest and claim a throne that none should hold, least all yourself. Who would fashion a tyrant's crown with bones of man and prove the evils of mankind?" "Oh, quit your yammering," he says. "You are nothing in this world. Your purpose was a mere accident, a mislabeling of the young woman's dire need to change the dialogue. The ritual should have been complete." You can see Komos is kind of gripping his stone that he's sitting on, nails digging in, and the black of his fur seems to be writhing and moving as though it's a living anemone. The fur kind of reaching out, the oil stretching. He says, "I thought to show," Godric kind of turns and says, "I thought to show you 6 whom death had thought to claim, when you escaped the threads of fate and now may work your will upon the world. The folly of madman, like he through the truth. Though they are mad, there is method to them, and the gods do deceive you with painted dreams to set you all against me, you who should support my just crusade. So let us cut the strings of fate that puppet you and free the world from tyranny. I trust my brother sides with me in this. A just and true war. Necessary evil to end a war fought long ago. Stand by my side. Winter child, you are still so naive to think the noble, the law, to those who rule in name of peace. And yet a serpent sits beneath their robes." As he looks to you, Westora.
I don't really care about you or this man, but I can see that you are the one killing people, and you're quite mad, and I don't want to have anything to do with you, quite frankly.
"It is his machinations that brought darkest anger, in my form housed to this world, that is built on bones, on blood, on death. Your mind cannot conceive. Yet they who rule do claim all for peace. Rip the blinders off your sheltered eyes, each of you. Lest this madman take the throne of darkness, one I do not seek, nor have designs on any seat of power, for which to rule or call myself king. You," and he looks to Garth, then to Addis, then to Magnar. "You 3 who stand between, heed my words well. I wish your aid, but if through this madman you bring war to me, I say to all, I shall do like and not restrain until wrath's black coat envelops me, and then all around it. My offer stands. Make your choice." As he stands up. As Gilles is approaching, what do you guys do?
Westora just sighs and just walks away.
I have a question, if you're willing to answer, since you seem so willing to share, Godric.
Didn't you ask? Gilles is approaching. You see the long mages fanning out, getting ready to jump the situation.
So when I first met Jill, I noticed for myself that the mark upon him seems to be an imitation, or at least attempt to recreate the distribution of Ao's power. Is that correct?
Not in its entirety. Power gained through slaying of blood. Only one of Ancient Ones remain. He sought to commune with it, and offered sacrifice of Winterborn and noble Fae, through whispered words of my dear brother, and called me forth from the darkest prison. And so I am here containing it, enacting my revenge on men like him. And she's like, oh, be quiet! And he's going to throw a bolt at Jill, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Shit.
Yeah, Adrian's just sort of standing next to Godric, ready to fight by him, I think, at this point in time. Why is my dex not going in my... Ooh, wrong character.
Alright, I got Barry, Godric, Jill, Lawmages, Westora, Garth, Addis, Hadrian, Magnar, and Komos. Alright. So, starting from the top in combat. Addis, you are reacting first as Jill is reaching out to strike at Godric.
This is fucking insane.
Seemingly upset by the questions that you asked.
I'm leaning in the direction of helping Godric, but honestly, Magnar, I want to hear your take.
So are you holding your action? Or just
I'm going
looking
to.
for a brief speech from Magnar?
Looking for brief speech from Magnar, yeah.
Can I speak out of turn?
Yeah. You can react to him and kind of exchange a brief dialogue.
It keeps talking about necessary evils, and he blasted half of that town to bits. I don't like Jill any more than you do, but he's a madman with far too much power.
Wait, which one?
Well, both of them, but Godric in particular.
Valid. Okay, I'm gonna take
I'd rather this wasn't settled at the end of a bloody lightning bolt.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm gonna take the dodge action then, and just sort of maybe step away from Godric slightly, so if there's some sort of magic being cast, I'm not going to be caught up in it.
All right.
That's my turn.
Law mages are reacting next. And only 2 of them have line of sight and have a chance to react. So they are going to cast Hold Person on Godric each, just in case. Make insight checks, all of you.
Frosty, as an FYI, my advantage toggle is broken. It's not even showing up on my character sheet, and I have no idea why.
You have to go re-enable it. Go to the...
I did.
Nat 1 for a 2.
Alright.
You asked for perception?
Oh, David, I think you're muted.
21.
I am. I rolled a 6. I'm too busy having already dismissed these idiots
21.
to pay attention to them.
Garth and Magnar, you both get the impression they are here to try and take Godric alive. And Godric seems to get caught in one of the spells as his body starts to lock up. And then you see this wave of energy as the spell seems to break around him. And another set of chains starts to wrap and he waves his hand. And it dispels it. That was their turn. Godric says then, fine, let it be war. And raises his hand, and you see the red from the ring kind of fly up into the sky and split into 6 glowing red orbs. And then you hear this burning sound as meteors rain down, forming from the red, nailing all 5 of the law mages and just obliterating them.
Do you want to roll off to see who goes here?
Do we have the same?
Yeah.
Garth
yeah,
goes
sure.
next.
Oh, fuck it, I'll go. Garth will say, what the fuck are we doing? Can someone give me a straight answer?
No,
Are we fighting or not?
I'm not.
I'd love to
Anyone-
fight. I'm just not sure who we're fighting, Garth, honestly.
Well, that don't fucking help.
I don't know what's going on any more than you do.
We can't help.
I will take my action.
Who do you dislike more?
I don't dislike any of them or like any of them. I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna go in front of Barry and kind of take the dodge action
Alright.
for this turn.
Where the meteors struck, you can see these scorched craters and the flames are starting to lick and spread to the trees. Hadrian.
I look at Magna and Addis, having heard sort of it, and I look to Godric as the whole person spell just fades off and say, still sort of speaking primordial, or common primordial, they seek to capture him to extract from him the egg, the power with which he holds, and make themselves gods upon this earth. Do not let him be taken alive no matter what happens here.
Are you saying to kill him?
No, that would be a bad idea.
Who shouldn't we kill?
Don't kill Godric.
Right. Okay.
That does make things clearer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How fucking time.
Oh God, I really don't want to.
And Hadrian, your necrotic shroud is active.
No, it is. Yeah. I have it activated. It's as the wing is sort of spreading out from his back, and his voice is lowered to a deeper register, even. But think I'm going to just. I'm going to make a wisdom save to see what I do here. Actually, give me a second.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to cast. I'm not going to cast anything. I'm going to go over to Jill, walk up to him casually, ready in action to attack him if things are getting very hairy, as in if he is taking hostile actions against Godric. And I'm just going to say, your men are dead, stay your blades and leave now. That's my turn.
Westora.
She just kind of like rubs her head in annoyance. I don't want to do any of this. I don't care if they kill each other or not. I'm just have fun. And she's going to just take the dodge action and just, she's just going to go to the other side. Can't go really past the horses. She'll climb into the wagon and just
onto
wait.
where the seat is with the reins to the
Yeah.
horse. All right.
Yeah, and just wait for this to be finished.
Komos runs at Jill and is like, What'd you do with my sister? What'd you have to do with it? I was going to try and attack Gilles. His longsword, he's going to swing it two-handed. And that will hit Gilles for 14 slashing. Alright. Barry's turn. He has
I've not given him a command yet.
He's just kind of looking at you, looking at them.
Not yet. After the fight.
Magnar.
My
Oh.
advice, Godric. Use some of that almighty power of yours and get out of here. And stop with all the bloody killing if you expect us to ever help you out. But he doesn't do anything.
Make a persuasion check.
I would trust Magnar.
Come on, get that high roll.
Oh yeah, persuasion.
I
Here
would.
we go. 15.
You just see him go away.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Alright. He kind of looks at you and tips his hat. And says, "Wise words. Remember my offer stands, and I shall see you 6 upon the Queen's birthday, for better or for ill." Alright. Gilles, getting rather frustrated, is going to cast Immolation on Komos. And that save is wrong. It's supposed to be. That will fail. He will go down.
Uh-oh.
Only level 2. We don't have much in the way of hit points.
And
Uh-oh.
Gilles will step forward towards Godric and summon a silver rapier to his hand.
That might have triggered my action, but I guess not.
He hasn't taken aggressive action towards Godric yet, so.
That's true. That's true.
Addis.
Well, fuck, he just attacked Komos. So,
To be fair, Komos attacked him first.
That is true.
that's true. That is
You can see
true.
Komos is on fire, like burning on the ground.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
I'm not expert, but
No. You know
But
what?
fire
Fuck
bad.
it. Yeah. Fuck it. Jill, you said we were illegal magic users or whatever, right? Here's some fucking illegal magic. And with bonus
What?
action, I'm going to rage as the blue energy is going to course throughout the entirety of Addis, and he is going to charge towards. I think I can get to. Going to get to there.
Okay. As you get right up
Going
behind
behind.
next to Gilles, he turns silver rapier in hand.
Can I
And
ask a
I'm going
question?
to
Yeah.
try and bonk him over the head.
I believe in the rules passing through friendly models counts as difficult terrain. Do we use that rule?
It isn't difficult terrain. The way I
Spice
run it
movement,
is,
I believe.
plus if you're a size larger, you can move through each other's spaces. What I do is I have it so that you can't go diagonal around corners or enemies. And if you're in a tight space, for example, a 5-foot hallway, you can't move past each other because you can't squeeze past each other. Or if someone is standing in a narrow doorway, like a 5-foot doorway, you can't go through each other in the doorway. You can block each other in the doorway. But good question. All right, As, yeah, you're right up behind him.
Cool. Yep, making a attack with my quarterstaff.
All right.
I'm gonna make it reckless. Yeah, I'm gonna make it reckless.
All
so
right. Roll your to hit.
23 to hit.
That will hit.
For 11 damage.
All right. How dare you lay your hands on me, you simpleton! You'll pay for this. I'll make sure all of you burn! Law mages are dead. Godric's turn. Godric is going to teleport away. Garth.
Oh fuck. So I guess we're fighting Jill DeRay. Shit. I will take my movement to get. Can I get on top of this tree stump here? Can I
Oh,
get
that's a
full-
tree. You could just see that.
Oh, it's a full-on tree.
Yeah.
Can I climb the tree?
Yeah. Half movement.
All right. I will climb the tree until I get to like a branch to kind of like stabilize.
Yeah, I'd say 15 feet up. Like you can climb up to 15 feet and be on one of the large branches, kind of up at its base.
I will take out my bow, and I will fire an arrow at Jill DeRay.
All right. Try to roll your to hit.
All right, with my longbow. 10.
Fortunately, as you see the arrow fly at him, you see the robe that he's wearing just kind of, one of the sleeves reaches up and just smacks the arrow out of the air.
Fuck. That was supposed to be a lot cooler than that. Shit. Oh, I guess I have my turn.
You're just getting warmed up. It's fine.
I'm just gonna walk 10 feet here,
Okay.
stepping over Komos, as Hadrian in this particular form is not entirely concerned, and will attack Jill, as seems to be the consensus. I will make this with my greatsword, but I will not be using Weapon Master. I will use my inspiration on that one, thank you.
All right. Remember to say what you rolled.
And, sorry, a 15, and I will add a hero point to this. So 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
And I am going to burn a Divine Smite as the blade wreaths in the sort of same ink moving out of his back and just glows a sickly purple. For 30 damage.
All right. As you slash into him, you see that he is bloodied.
I said leave now.
And as you strike
Kind
into
of
him...
not welcome.
Nope, not yet. Sorry. Yeah, he is bloodied. I'll see you all burn and hang for this. Dare you? I'll have my revenge. You idiots! You fools! I can't believe you let him get away. How? What are you? You pay for this, Westora?
All right. It's sort of a flash of ice and cold snow. Westora oops, didn't mean to do that. To do the arrow. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really need that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and appears in a flash of ice and snow there, and then goes 1, 2 over there, and she'll yell out, for people eager to end death before, the rest of you seem mighty eager to give it, and then we'll spend time to make a medicine check on Kumos, and I will spend my inspiration on this. Oh, I
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence check, just straight up
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah.
15.
So you would realize that you need to put him out before you can stabilize him, because he's actively burning.
All right.
You could use your action to do that.
Yeah, I'll spend an action. Take like. I don't really have a cloak in my description, but if I knew that going on, I could maybe grab like a blanket or something off the wagon and be using that to put out the fire.
All right. So you kind of use the bit of blanket that's kind of acts as just a protective cover for the bench
over the cushions.
and you just kind of start smothering and dousing the fire on him, trying to put it out as he flails and twitches, screaming under the flames. Okay. Barry?
He's not got
Is he dying?
command yet.
Is he making death saves or stuff like that?
He is.
He is. Okay. Yeah.
I'm rolling them in secret because you guys don't know what he's rolling.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I knew that because that would impact my next action, like whether or not I need to try to save him.
Magnar.
Can Magnar fit through Addis's legs?
Yes. You just can't. And you can fit in between his legs, yes.
Okay, so I will go straight through.
Giggity.
Okay.
And I am all out of magic, but I do have spare the dying.
All right.
So yes, put a hand down to him. Yeah. No, you're not going out in a blaze of glory.
Puns.
But you can.
Amazing.
That's everything.
All right. Gilles' turn. He'll say, "I'll see you all very soon. The law mages will hunt you down to the ends of this earth." And he's gonna wave his hand, and his ring is going to glow, and you'll see runes of fire kind of light up around him, and then he'll burst away in flames and smoke as lightning kind of crackles and pops around him, and he vanishes.
Addis is going to point his staff and go, counterspell!
And that will end the combat.
Okay.
Fuck.
As combat ends, Hadrian is going to scream after Jill, "Get back here, you coward, and finish this!"
I thought you wanted
You
to
told
leave.
him, you told him to go away. Pretty...
Hadrian, it's over. Hadrian, it's over.
Breathing very heavily, just...
Do you
It
want to help?
needs to end.
Do you want to help me with Comos, Hadrian?
Oh, I can help.
You wanna
I
help?
have.
Hadrian, do you want to help us with Comos?
Do I want to help them with Comos? I don't particularly think so at this point in time.
No, this is in character. I'm trying to calm you down.
No, I get it. I was asking Frosty because I don't exactly know what the state
It's up to you.
He does. He sort of looks down at
Do you want me to
Comos.
like make a roll to see if I'm calming or?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
let's
sure.
make a-
Let's raise and check. That's easier.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dynamic we kind of already started. I got a 16. If that influences how you want to roleplay things.
Yeah, I think he's just saying that to him. He's like sort of chomping at the bit, kind of like swinging his sword in the place where Jill just vanished, and like cursing in Primordial. And he kind of
And maybe you even feel like a gentle hand on your shoulder as she says this.
He sort of like looks towards you, and you see the blackness kind of like fading from his eyes as they go back to their usual sort of opalescent purple and black shade, and he just
You guys see the horses begin to trot off away from the burning fire,
Shit.
trying to
Oh, they-
just pulling the carriages with them in a direction that they can go because they're panicking.
can I attempt to stop one of the carriages, please? Kind of need those.
Sure. As
Stop
you guys
the one
are,
with shit in it.
Yeah,
make
the one with the shit in it.
All right.
I'm sorry, West I wouldn't say shit in it. The valuables in it.
What is valuable?
Yeah, Garth,
That's up to you.
roll a d4,
Okay.
and we'll see which one you try and stop.
2.
All right. So the middle carriage is the one you're trying to stop. Make an animal handling check.
Oh, yes.
That is the one that you were driving, so it makes sense.
Yes. I'm going to make this with advantage of my inspiration.
All right.
I'm just going to roll it twice. Where is animal handling? The nat 20, 27.
All right, yeah, you run up and just kind of like get up to the next horse and go, whoa, whoa, like steady the horse, and it's antsy, it's freaking out because like the forest is starting to catch fire, but it's obeying.
Relax. It's all right.
The other ones go, the ones behind, they're freaking out, screaming and neighing and baying because they can't get past the carriage up front and can't pull the carriage that they're attached to. Like your carriage is blocking their way, so they are freaking out, rattling on the chains and going crazy. But you've calmed the second carriage. Westora, Hadrian, what are you doing? And then Magnar and Addis.
So after Westor kind of, like, the wing kind of recedes back, and he's looking around, a little confused, but he's like shaking his head, and he goes to Komos, and I'll give him healing hands, so he'll get back D4 hit points. So 3, and
Where'd the bastard go? I need to go kick his ass. Where is he? Where is
I don't know what you're talking about. What bastard? Which one?
Jill.
Never mind. Yeah, let's get these horses out of the way.
Let's get out of these woods before they all catch on
Right.
fire.
Hadrian is going to check the cart with the gold in it, because he remembers that the first one had the gold, and see if we can salvage anything from it, because...
It is, the first carriage is taking off.
Yeah, this is the only carriage I got.
Okay, got it.
But that's the one with the shit in it.
So
How far away is it?
100 feet ahead right now.
There are
Can someone
horses
try to
going.
calm down the other horses? I've got this one sorted. Everyone here good with animals?
Magnus
Okay.
going to go and check on the law mages nearest to him.
As you go, make a wisdom save or a constitution save. Up to you.
Okay. Sorry. Wisdom save. Yeah, wisdom save.
You kind of vomit a little bit. You've seen injuries like this before, and they were always really hard for you to handle. If people got too close to the magma flows, sort of the scorched, blackened, burnt body from and it's mangled and broken from the solid mass impact, and they don't look like they survived at all. Much, thankfully, past impact, but you're kind of like nauseated and pulling away as you smell the burnt body and like flames kind of licking around the area and
That's
starting to trace up the tree.
very, very, very dead.
Like
Well,
overkill. Overkill is
But-
all you can think of.
As disgusting as it is, and there's no saving them. I get that. I'm gonna. He's gonna take a look at the hands and see if there's any rings.
Make an investigation at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. That is a 13.
Kind of looking through a couple of them, most of it looks destroyed, but you do find one. You kind of break the finger off as the hand crumbles to ash, and the small golden ring falls to the ground. But you do find one.
Okay. Not putting it on, but I will keep hold of it for now.
And make a Constitution save.
That is a 12.
All right, so you're gonna take 1d10 fire damage for 9 fire damage. Just the ring is just so burning hot that like you're used to having like special protections and magics when you're handling the hot coals for the rituals, and didn't think about it and just kind of grabbed the ring, and it's you're like it's burning through your hand.
And that's why my father won't let me in the bloody forge.
Right. Frosty, just to clarify, the woods are catching on fire right now. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to get out
We
of here.
Yeah,
do need
so-
to get out.
Yeah,
We should
Mustora
get those
is-
people tied up, by the way. The ones who are tied up next to the carriage. Let's not forget to do that.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Mustora was thinking. Mustora actually motions for Hadrian to stay there. She'll go and free Antoine.
He kind of says afterwards, you maybe skip Antoine.
She looks
Please.
at you.
Like gives you the
You can
look.
see a small.
You know
You
the
can
look.
see a small. You can see a small
it's-
smile on his
it's a-
face.
it's a
He's
disappointing
clearly
look.
joking. He's clearly
It's a
joking as he says that. But
She has a bit of a rice.
So you get around, and you kind of see them. You can see the heat from the flames. You're starting to untie. Make a dexterity
I'm
save.
cutting the ropes.
Oh, you're just.
I've
using
got
a dagger.
daggers. I'm just gonna
Okay.
cut 'em.
Okay.
There's time at the essence.
Oh,
Woods are catching fire. We
that's
need to get
that's
them
what I
back
was
and go.
making sure of. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So you're just cutting them free. Anton's like, "Dude, we have to get out of here.
we do on the carriage.
Gar-
Get in.
Garth will
Garth
be
saved one.
driving. Yeah.
All right.
Garth,
take the
Addis,
reins.
What are you doing?
Addis is standing sort of right where he is, staring off in the forest as it catches fire, just sort of standing there watching as all the flames start to lick up.
Addis, we're leaving.
Addis,
Oh,
Addis,
okay. Get on the
it's
fucking
pretty,
carriage. Let's
but
go.
dangerous.
I just-
Wastora,
Okay.
Goth, I can ride up front. Goth,
Yeah,
you take.
I'll drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get in the back.
No,
apparently
sorry.
with Addis.
Hold on, kind of
Actually,
make an insight check. Everyone.
I'm gonna again. I can't query advantage right now, but I'm gonna make this a disadvantage because I think Hadrian is completely fucking like
All right.
freaking out.
I got a 15.
That's a grand 8.
Addis is still distracted by the fire, so he's not
14.
really paying attention.
All right.
Get
So
Barry, Barry
Magnar
shit.
and Westora, you guys realize this law mage heard everything go down, and as she's climbing into the carriage, can see what happened and knows you guys were fighting Gilles, heard him, and the two of you realize that she is obviously upset and looking for someone to blame for this, and is looking at the people she heard fighting.
Wastora will look at her and she'll say.
But she's keeping her mouth shut for now.
Yeah, Wastora will look at her and say, "Just blame me. I'm a dirty warlock anyway. For now, just get the hell out of here."
We have a ring.
I
Yeah,
like
let's just
first.
catch magic.
Yes. So whoever's driving the carriage, as you guys all pile in, there is almost no room on the inside because of all the chests that have been emptied and stuff that's been strewn about. Addis, I need you to make a deck save to try and fit into the carriage.
Can you not ride on the bloody roof?
I'm good.
He's just kind of crouched.
Yeah, you kind of squeeze in, fold up. You're used to kind of get in, and the rest of you are kind of squeezed. You know that you've had too many people in the car, and you're squeezing against the door, sort of thing. Garth, you and Barry get a nice roomy seat up front.
I'll just
Will you
yell out.
make an animal handling check?
Oh, hang on back there. This might not be the smoothest ride you've ever had. 25.
All right. Yeah, and just the horses take off. And it's tough to handling them. You kind of steer the carriage around. And as you're taking off and going, kind of the adrenaline of the situation's wearing off as you kind of think back and realize that you've heard the other horses screaming and kind of baying behind you as they're trying to follow, but they were in such a panic that they have long since disappeared into the horizon as you guys get a bit of a short rest riding along. Make a survival check at advantage, Garth.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. 24.
24. All right, you easily navigate the trail of what's left and kind of find an area away from where the woods are burning to kind of pull off and let the horses calm down and settle. You can see the fire miles behind you in the distance as you make ride for a good hour, maybe 2 hours out until you can find a small copse and a bit of clearing that you can kind of let the horses rest, because they've been just full on galloping out of panic and you running them to get away. And you kind of pull the carriage off to the side. Give them a chance to rest and get some water. And
Camp.
Yeah, we probably should set up camp for a little bit. When we get there, I will get off the carriage and I will go to the horses. And I know. I'm sorry I had to push you that hard, but we got off there alive. It's what matters. And I will cast a good berry and give them both
horse kind of
a good berry.
and they're clopping. You can see them kind of pulling at their harnesses. They're not very comfortable at the moment, but they are calming down.
Wait, when you say camp, do you mean like taking a full, like, going to sleep here, or do you just mean like resting here for a few hours?
I thought we were out of the sort of fire area of the forest and back onto
We're
the other
only-
side of it. But
Well,
We're
would I
2
know?
hours from fire, and fire spreads pretty fast.
Would I know how fast the forest fire spreads?
Make a survival check.
All right.
Can I aid with that?
Yeah, make it at advantage.
All right. Advantage. 17.
So it spreads pretty fast, but because of the way the trees and forests in this are, it's not one big forest. It's lots of little pockets. And while things are a bit dry, because calibration and the sun has been out the whole time, kind of drying everything up, at this point it's kind of the first day after calibration. So night is kind of settling in. There's a bit of cool air, which is allowing you to see the fire. And you don't believe that the fire will make it this far. It would have to kind of cover the grassland meadows, and it could, but the way the wind's blowing, where it's going, it seems like it'll head more northwest and southwest.
We can keep an eye on it if it starts heading this way.
Yeah.
Garth will pick some grass and throw it in the air. We should be good.
okay,
Restore will look at the three passengers.
They're kind of rubbing where the ropes were and kind of looking at you and talking amongst themselves a little bit. And Wistra looks up and
I'm afraid we aren't going to be able to return to the city from which we left. I believe Jill will be quite unhappy with us, but perhaps we could aid you on your return trip. She's going to be saying this specifically to the law mage.
the three of us could take the 2 horses and make it back to town. You would be
Well, we
left to
need
fend for yourselves, but as far as we know, you were burned in the fire. Does that seem fair?
She'll look at the law mage and say, "Is that?"
That's what the law mage is offering.
That's what the law mage is on. I certainly have no qualms with that. I don't mind walking on foot now that we're out of danger. What about the rest of you?
I mean, I don't mind either. I will point out their discretion is useless since Jill already knows we're alive.
That's true. But I'm not here to make deals, really. I'm
You also-
happy just to let them be safe.
Insight check.
Yeah.
Adrian will also add, by the
Well,
way.
Jill won't know that whether or not we died in the fire.
And he didn't seem like the type
Ring.
to
18.
spread the word of his humiliation.
Oh,
necessarily.
yeah. Westora will look at the law mage again. My friend here has the ring that Jill gave us. Can you help him take it off?
Please. I broke my fucking
If you
finger.
cannot
trying to take
remove
it
it,
off.
then that is a cursed object. I have the way of doing it. But I
Quick
have
question,
the
what-
ability to remove that.
What
Will
is your
Jill
curse?
be able to continue to know where we are with it?
I do not know. I don't know what curse or spell you claim Monsieur Pismari has put on this ring. And
What would
you
the-
guys, as you said, are the warlock and attack him, so I cannot believe your accusations. But if there is a curse on the ring, it must be removed.
All right. Well, thank you anyway.
What spell did that person say was on it? Begin with
A curse, just a curse.
No, there's some scrying.
It can scry.
Scry. Scry. That's the one. That's the one. So, like, we
Let's.
got to deal with these people. Jill still knows where we're at and we're alive, right?
Well, he'll know
Antoine's like, we should take the carrots. At least we can get what's left of the supplies to the town. They can make it on foot.
But we could all go together as well and get
Well-
them there at the same.
Well, to the other town, perhaps. We cannot return home.
Garth, I don't think we should go with them. I think that's dangerous.
It's dangerous on foot. Have you ever traveled through the woods on foot?
Yes.
Yes.
I
There's
met
a
you
lot
in
of
Valakia
dangerous.
wandering through the woods.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
Yes.
Aren't you like a ranger?
I am. But I don't
Don't
like
you
traveling on foot.
Don't you like walking through the woods?
I like the woods and all, but my feet get tired and they hurt.
Like,
I
you
have a
can
big-
stop and rest. You know that is an option when you're walking through the woods.
I have a big frame or a lot of pressure on my little feet.
He's a big frame, and I pointed at us.
Hey,
He's not
I just big
complaining.
boned.
Oh, he's made of stone. That's not fair.
All right.
Thank
fair
you,
enough,
thank
fair
you. I work hard on
enough.
this.
Look, before we continue, I say we just let them take the carrot? I don't care about this medicine. They
Gold
can
and
take
gold.
or whatever's left. Is there anything left in the crates at all?
You
The
guys haven't
chests?
looked yet. You guys were just
Uh,
crowded in, kind of.
yeah,
I mean, I'll-
Once we all get
I'll look.
out, let's go take a look at that.
All right. One of
Addis
you
will
make an
look as well.
investigation check at advantage.
Did
I'll make it if you don't mind. Unless you have a better.
was the war mage being truthful?
Sorry. What'd you roll for your insight?
18.
She is happy to be alive right now, especially having seen, as you guys were fleeing, what happened to the others. And you could tell that she is filled with anger, and she is willing to let you guys walk for now, and probably won't say anything, but you get the feeling she is going to be out for revenge at some point.
Okay.
But she's also at least a
Very
decent
angry.
person and recognizes that she would not be alive right now if it wasn't for you guys, and is kind of willing to cut pretty close to the line just to try and settle the situation for now.
Trying to make an even score so that she can get her revenge on a clean conscience later.
Basically.
As Garth is dealing with the horses and Addis is sitting in the carriage, Hadrian is going to try and pull Magna and Westera aside for a second, just sort of like motion and
Give me one moment. So Addis, as you're searching, there's
Yeah, roll a 15.
a component pouch left.
Okay.
There's a lot of gold. Most of it's all in bars and ingots, a couple silver ingots and a few copper ingots. Interestingly enough, it looks like they did not take the money. Only the medical supplies.
How much gold is there? Just in like, is there any gold pieces, or is it just almost all like ingots and stuff?
Almost all ingots. I will say you do find a single chest that looks like it's got some jewels and just coins thrown in. You could sift through. You have no idea how much actual coinage is in it. You could just grab a handful if you want.
Addis will start. Yeah, he'll start sifting through and start. I mean, he's a scavenger. That's what he does. He'll start trying to gather as much as he can.
All right. So you will get 5 copper, 79 gold, and 68 silver. As you just kind of grab what you can.
What? No electrum?
You'll also find a small ruby worth maybe 75 gold. And 2 ivory chess pieces, an ivory horse, knight, and an ivory pawn. Just little things that you could kind of quickly grabbed without drawing attention to yourself that you were taking anything.
Yeah. Cool.
And then, Hadrian, you wanted to pull people off to the side for a second?
Yeah. Because Magna seemed, from what I recall, to understand most of what was being said, and I remember. I wanted to. What happened?
So
I remember
this is
talking to
the road.
Godric. I remember. He talked about Ishgard. He said we were brothers, and something about angels, and then everything just kind of goes a bit dark. I still remember the conversation. What he wanted to do. It seems like he's out for justice and revenge, but I don't know how far he'd go. And
Oh, we'll go as far.
then
as
everything just goes black. Like, what happened?
This is to Astora and Mac.
Yeah. He's asking both of you. Yeah.
Sorry, James.
No. You're asking how far he'd go. He'd go as far as to destroy the Earth, as far as I can tell.
I think there's something seriously wrong with him, and quite frankly, perhaps with you. There's some sort of that black shadowy thing from the dreams. You sprouted a wing of it, and it filled your eyes, and he seems to do it. And there's somebody somewhere he seems to be talking to. So I think Godric is... Perhaps there might be something manipulating him through his desire for revenge. I don't think his idea of justice is particularly just or fair. I think it's driven largely through revenge of the gods.
It's interesting you to say that he might be an outside influence on him, because for somebody who's being a sort of megalomaniac and will tear down the universe, at the same time, he's trying to get cures for the peasant folk, which like all
Jill
power
wasn't
to him.
doing, yeah.
All power to him, but it seems such a good thing, but such a small thing to be doing.
Adrian is kind of like
to his sort of grand
he's also,
design.
he's also willing to...
Guys, please one at a time.
destroy...
Please one at a time. Magnar, if you could repeat that for a second.
Oh, I was just saying that the curing of things being good and all, but it seems such a small thing compared to his grand designs, and I can't square the two.
He's sort of like rubbing his temples, and those voices. Yeah, they fuel a lot, but I can't explain it, but I know that somewhere in him, that at his core, he is a troubled but a good man. Maybe his grand designs are these things sort of driving and manipulating, and the others is who he truly is. He was willing to walk. He was willing to spare the carriage when he had no reason to do so. You saw the kind of power he brought on those law mages. There was no way we were getting out of that fight if we had decided to oppose him. He could have just taken what he wanted, but he didn't. And I know, I think, I can feel that you're right, Magnar. As he is now, he will go so far, but he's also trying to, I can't swear it. I know that thing in him needs to be stopped.
He was, in his story, imprisoned, it seems, from perhaps by the gods when they took over, when they gained their seat of influence and power, and that seems to drive him. And that's a long time for somebody to be imprisoned. I don't know what type of imprisonment it was. But I do not think even Godric himself is terribly stable. I don't think it was any outside influence that necessarily made him willing to destroy his city. And a lot of innocent people died. I know he seems to be attacking nobles, but he destroyed whole sections of a city. You can't tell me that people who he claims to want to help didn't die in that. And also, he's willing to destroy all nobility in a city, regardless of individual traits or qualities. That's not justice. That's purely revenge. I truly think that there is no actual justice in any of his machinations, either Godric or whatever this force is.
It is not justice that was wrought upon our home, and yet the wheel turns and spins. And that which he seeks to cure shall in and of itself become the disease. For when so great your rage, so great the wrong done to you. 'Tis no telling how far that justice and vengeance will go. As many innocents as are necessary, he said. As many accidents.
That's a lot of innocence, however you cut it,
Aye.
depending on what he views as necessary. So, I don't look. I have no personal stake between Jill and Godric. I was perfectly okay with whatever. Obviously, Godric seems to be accusing Jill of some of the machinations of his own, which is perfectly believable. I only know of one force right now that is particularly destructive, and that's Godric.
Yet Jill sought to harness it.
You
Well,
mentioned
to be
that
fair, sorry?
before. I was just saying, Adrian, that's what gave me pause. Where you said Jill was trying to seek Godric's power.
It was based off of something Godric had said.
Yes.
Godric had
And Jill
accused
seeks
him
to
of
capture
doing it.
him.
Yeah, that's why he was implying that's why Jill wanted it. But
So I don't think a victory by either is good here.
perhaps not. So perhaps this particular outcome is fine for now, delaying whatever inevitable machinations either party had. But I wanted to point out, though, that we attacked Jill first. Gomos attacked Jill. Jill then attacked Gomos. Didn't attack you, didn't attack me, didn't attack Addis until Addis ran up and attacked him. So Jill I don't think Jill cared about us. But you cannot sit here and say, oh, Jill attacked us, therefore he's a bad man. We attacked him first.
I'm not saying he's a bad man. I'm not.
Oh, I think Jill is a bad man.
I am saying he's a bad man because of that.
No,
I apologize.
but in this case, in this scenario, perhaps not.
Right. I know you have no stake in this. I know both of you have no stake in this, but oh, sorry, Frosty, you were saying roll something.
All three of you make intelligence checks, and
3.
14.
all right.
Hang on. $15.
All right. So Westra and Magnar, you do recall. Jill seemed familiar with a few of you, Komos, Westora, and even a little bit Hadrian. And Godric seemed to imply that he manipulated the three of you into something that set him free. That seemed to be the implication behind what Godric was saying. And that he tried to say, he's containing what Jill tried to use you guys to get to.
Well, he's containing what Jill tried to release and harness.
And you would know that Addis seemed to have a bit more understanding as to what Jill might have been trying. But just a few things that I wanted to, in case they had gotten lost.
Yeah. I'm gonna call Addis and Garth over. There's a Garth, Addis.
While they're talking, could I have a quick word with Addis before this?
Yeah. I was actually about to do just that. Beat me to it, Garth.
While they're talking,
What's up?
Quick bathroom break. Be okay.
Addis, do you have a minute? Go on up, set up camp. I mean, the others have seemed to have run off somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'd love to.
All right.
Kind of looking at you guys briefly, the Lama says, "Do we have an accord? Are we taking the carriage?"
I'm not gonna make that call.
I'm not going to make that call either.
Can we
We
wait
will
for
leave it to the
Vulcan
leader
ready?
of our group.
Yeah.
And Antoine just kind
one
of
of
folds
them.
his head. Fine, get dealing with imbeciles.
Antoine have some.
Kind of walks off and they kind of set up their own little camp and kind of secure the carriage. What are you guys? So back to you guys.
Yeah,
It's fine. Their intellects are too small to understand our machinations.
intellect. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, what were you gonna? What you were gonna say is more important, I think, right now. We'll get to that one later, maybe.
All right, yeah. You back there, you look like you've never seen a fire before. You look like we're just staring at it.
Oh no, I've seen fire before.
What was that about?
Yeah. I mean, in simplicity, I think fire is beautiful. I in in my eyes, it's sort of it's like the rawest form of magic, right? Fire magic, and that is the perfect representation of what magic should be. And in that sort of way, it's almost like just the fact that fire exists, right? And that it's not magic, right? Like if it sometimes you could just make fire by rubbing a rock and sticks together. Like, come on, that's magic. Tell me that's magic, right? Like,
Yeah, this is pretty magical.
yeah,
Where does it come from? It's got to be magic.
exactly. There's got to be something there, right? Like, there's got to like, who said that if you rub a stick and a rock fast enough together? Yeah.
It seemed like you just were not quite in the moment. The forest is on fire. You know, wood does burn quite
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
And Addis, you recall stone burns. Buildings burn. Mountains burn.
You see him sort of flinch slightly, and he is going to lift up one of his hands that is just sort of wrapped in gauze and bandages and start to unpeel and just show you the flesh underneath that is just charred and like purple. It like essentially the sinew underneath has been sort of revealed under like stone that's been charred and cracked. You can sort of see where like the bone starts to just slightly extrude outwards a little bit.
Ooh, that's a pretty nasty injury. Can I look at you real quick, if you don't mind?
Sure. Just put his hand out.
We'll just look at it. Does it look like? Have I seen something like this before? Like this type of injury?
Make a history check.
History check. All right. 14.
No, I mean, there's something familiar about his flesh. It's definitely different. It does resemble more stone, but there's an energy coursing through it, and there is something familiar about that. Maybe from childhood or something you encountered, but it's been so long you can't place it. But the marks, you've seen people burnt in a campfire. You've seen buildings burn. You just watched a fire and saw people get scorched, but you've never seen fire like this. You've never seen burns like this.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you come across this type of injury? I've never seen something like this before. If you don't want to share, it's fine. I don't want to pressure you.
It's a sensitive subject, obviously. Yeah. I mean, I did some stupid stuff in my youth, and
so have I.
Yeah, no.
But not like that.
Yeah. Let's just say that I think the power of Godric and Jill is quite impressive, but they don't fill me with quite the same fear as other things I've seen.
It's got to be one hell of something you've seen before. If Godric and Jill don't compare.
Yeah.
They kind of freak me out a little bit. I've seen some shit, but not like them. They are just completely different. I mean, Godric killed 5 people at once.
That was pretty impressive. I think I might learn that one later on.
Oh,
just
you
so I
can
can
do
use
that.
myself. Yep.
Oh, I look
I mean,
forward
if I
to
find some large rocks, I could set them on fire and throw them at people. It'd be pretty.
That is awesome. Could you teach me how to do that?
As
Yeah,
you get
sure.
the call, hey, Addis, Addis Garth.
Oh, yeah, we should probably head over, I guess.
It's maybe we should probably mention that the law mages want to know about the cart.
Yeah, it might be important.
Yeah.
I mean, they could wait a little longer for all I care. I don't care.
Yeah, they might like try and steal the cart though. I don't know.
But like, they're nobles. Who gives a shit?
Sure. You were the one who wanted to not walk, so
Right.
All
Right,
right.
I'll head over.
yeah, head over.
Guys walk over. Westora and Magnar and Hadrian, Garth and Addis kind of come and join you as you guys called out to them. Seemingly like,
The noble folks want to know if they can keep the car or not, and they're getting very impatient.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I thought we were all okay with that, right? Like that seemed to be the consensus, but
I'm okay with that. I don't think we need the cart.
I didn't want to make the decision, to be honest.
Okay, Garth.
James,
okay,
you're muted.
look.
James, you're muted. Okay, so you guys give a holler back. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, don't we want any of that treasure before they bugger off?
I don't think they were allowed. They didn't want us
Don't
to take
worry.
it.
Don't worry about it. Addis will sort of open his coat slightly and show a ruby that he's pocketed.
All right. Well,
Nice.
there was some ingots in there, if I recall, that might be quite nice for smelting down, but they're a bit bloody heavy to carry around if we haven't got a cart. Never mind.
Addis,
Well,
those, like,
strictly
magic-
speaking, none of it is
magic
ours.
bags.
So I'm happy for them to just take it back.
I also don't
Have you heard
necessarily want to give them more reason to hate us and hunt us down. You know, like,
I think it's too late for that, but it's a noble thought.
well, never too late. Addis, by the way, we wanted to ask you. You mentioned before that mark on Jill's hand, something about it being a god crest. We were sort of speculating that he was trying to, whatever this weird black shit is, trying to sort of harness it and use it to elevate himself to a higher level of power. Does that make sense with what you know of that crest?
Yeah, in fact, that's something that I wanted to sort of bring up. I think, personally, we made a mistake letting Jill get away. Because I know, we have different opinions on him. I do think, obviously, I wouldn't have attacked him in that circumstance, except for the fact that Komos was injured. And I do think at this point we sort of need to stand by each other. If one of us is being attacked, I'm gonna retaliate.
I mean, we are friends, aren't we?
Friends
I
is a
certainly
strong
hope so.
word, but I think we're stuck together. So I will.
That's
yeah.
friends, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
I like
So-
all of you well enough, except for Komos, really. That's only because he hates me.
That's
I'm surprised to hear that. So I agree with you, Addis. I think that everything is really, really fuzzy. I'm sorry, I'm sort of, but I do think what Godric said about housing it, or containing it, or whatever it is, he may really be trying to keep this, whatever it is, in check. Failing, obviously, but it doesn't seem to me to be better if Jill, for example, gets his hands on it and has designs for it.
You know,
I don't think either should win. I'm just
I do have a thought. We have to think about what we're going to do next. We can't go back. The law mages would be all over us. But Magnar and I were speaking the other day, and we were discussing sort of the dreams we've had. the sort of shared connections that we seem to possess, the images of each other that some of us have had, the visions, I guess you might call them, even before we met. And we were theorizing or suggesting that perhaps we were being brought together for a purpose by somebody. And I forget the name, Magnar, of the goddess of fate you were sharing with me.
Yeah.
Sophitia.
Sophitia, yeah. Goddess of fate.
Sophitia.
Yes. But I think a good next step might be to seek out perhaps a temple of hers, if there is one. I understand she's not the most communicative of goddesses, but she might be able to answer questions about what this black force is, what Godric's real role in it might be, and what exactly they're trying to get us to do.
Adrian kind of mutters under his breath the first words of his prophecy, which were, "If you refuse the hero's call," and just kind of let that hang in his. And he sort of just thinking, you can see, lost.
Krusty, could I just to sort of get a I have a thought of something Godric said, but I want to like put a solid check on that if that's okay, just to try and get a better.
If you'd like to ask me what it, ask me.
And Godric mentioned something about that he mentioned the being that he was trying to that was trying to be summoned, that was like trying to, that because when Addis asked about it and mentioned the gods, he said it was like beyond the gods. Yeah. So I was wondering if I could try and make a religion check or something on that.
Religion or Arcana, I would allow. It'd be more Arcana, magical theory, or history than religion. It would really be a religious.
Okay, I'll make a history then.
All right.
And I'm going to use a hero point. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm going to use my inspiration.
I was going to say...
that one.
Yeah. Because you have experience with taking the stone and fragments of ancient things, please make your check at advantage.
Okay, thank you. That's a lot better. I'm still actually going to use a hero point.
All right.
So for a 24 total.
All right, so 24. So you recall the stories of Kephalos, the being that your tribe used to hunt and break the stones off of, being a fragment to the colossi, bits that have fallen off and created these giants, and stories that in a time before the gods there were, for lack of a better term, primordial incarnations of nature and the world, of concepts, realities. And the colossi are descended from them, and that these beings were killed off and went extinct. And you put together that if you can draw power from fragments of these entities, right, down the line, the being that you're taking is generations removed from whatever this entity is, but it imbued you, it changed you, it did something different, that power is embodied in it, that if someone was to take one of those entities, one of these old, ancient, primordial things, and kill it or harness it in some way, you have no idea the extent of the power that would be. And Godric seemed to imply that the thing that he's containing, that Gilles wants, might be one of those entities. And that's a little hard for you to believe, because there shouldn't be any left. There shouldn't be any of these things left. You know, everyone in your tribe in the stories, they were hunted and killed, and that's why you guys don't kill the beings that you hunt, the giant, Kelphilos.
Could I get a spelling of that, if you don't mind? Sorry.
Kepheleos. Sorry, I misspelled it. Kephilos. And you've heard tribes that follow one called Melakara. Different element. You guys followed one of flames. They were one of, supposedly Melakara is one of thunder. But
could I try and I don't know if Addis has enough pieces necessarily yet, but could I make any sort of check to try and get any sort of hints to, like, because these are supposed to embody or like a piece of like reality or like an element, right? Could I try and make any sense of that potentially, like what this could be?
Sure, make an intelligence save.
Okay. God.
Unfortunately, you have what you have. You could try discussing it with the group, see what they can come up.
Yeah, I'll do that then. So yeah, you see sort of Addis goes into thought for a little bit and is thinking about it, and as the group is conversing, it sort of will. So, I will say I do agree with the concept of, like, I think Jill. Well, he was. I think this was maybe a situation of sort of he aimed too high, sort of let greed blind him, and he was trying to summon or control, I believe, some sort of primordial entities that should be dead or extinct. My guess is it's a piece, because like maybe it's like the piece of one of their bodies or their power that's been left over or something. But these are things that are older and probably more powerful than the gods. So Jill was obviously trying to basically gain power beyond the gods.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
No.
What was that, David?
I have a thought.
Oh.
Godric mentioned being in prison. He's mentioned that we were somehow involved in ways that I don't remember, some of us at least, and summoning this, right? We are assuming they were all killed, but perhaps they were, or at least some of them, imprisoned somewhere, some metaphysical alternate realm, plane of existence, perhaps. And perhaps so was Godric, and by bringing them forth, that's what he's referring to. So maybe as far as you know, they're all dead or killed, but that's what people say because they're gone.
You think he was imprisoned with one of these things? Is that what you're
saying?
Well,
I believe he did say he himself was imprisoned for a long time. Now, maybe that wasn't Godric speaking. Maybe that was whatever this thing is speaking.
That would then maybe imply. That does sound something like maybe Ao had imprisoned them.
Perhaps.
But if these things are beyond the gods, how could he have?
Maybe they were weakened. I don't know what killed them.
I'm just asking questions. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I will say,
prison sounds easier than destroying.
Yes,
that is true as well. Yeah. I will also say, like, these things, they're not like the gods. They're literally like concepts come into being.
Concepts come into being, you say?
Yeah, I mean, my tribe followed basically offspring of them, the colossi that wander. They're not like any sort of mortal being. They are just raw power and strength condensed into essentially physical form. So whatever this thing is, even if it's a fragment, if it's the whole thing, I think we're screwed because that's insane. If this is just a piece of it, we're probably still screwed. But
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do you, Hadrian? You have the same weird goop, right? Like, do you feel any connection to it? Do you have any idea? Is it the concept of goop?
Can I make a check to see if it is in fact the concept of goop, or if it's something
Make
a
an
bit
insight check. See if you can recognize and know yourself well enough.
Oh boy.
It's probably going to be very high difficulty.
10.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to use a hero point. Why not? 15.
15. Anytime your wing comes out, it's usually in anger. When you are furious and anger, and there's so much anger in you that you push away thinking about anything else.
I look at them and again, until that happened yesterday, I had forgotten it did, but I just remember whenever that, it's just like, it's like I become pure rage. I think maybe the only reason that I didn't immediately yesterday go for a kill is I remember Godric being around in Westera calming me down, but usually it's just wrath. It's just anger.
Maybe that's what it's a concept of.
That would
anger,
also
rage.
Could be.
Isn't
He said he
I
was
feel
the
like it's
wrath of the fallen embodied. Yes, the wrath of those who died in the gods were embodied.
and also he's if he was imprisoned and he's come back for revenge, maybe that's how this power like it piggybacked on that, or
Yeah.
That's a
You know,
funny
yeah.
phrase for a really scary thing, Addis. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it can be uncertain if the anger is the source of the desire for revenge, or if it's acting upon it within him.
I
If
think
he had a desire for revenge.
wait. Actually, I have a crazy thought. If he was imprisoned in this like whatever, however he was imprisoned, or yeah, I don't know. If we assume the theory that you had with Stora of like he interacted with the thing in that, right? Like he met this goop, the anger goop, in the prison, and it
tag
like
anger goop.
it like fused with him or whatever, right? And then Jill learned about, or just like I don't know, found some sort of ritual to try and summon that, and it just ended up summoning Godric because they had like fused, right? So Godric
did
is
say-
a sen- Oh, no.
He
Or
did
get
say
that.
that he had manipulated. Someone had manipulated to bring him. Look, I don't know exactly what's going on here, obviously,
Well,
and I think I might be dangerous.
well then.
Well, that much is clear.
So
Thank you,
my
Magna.
thought is that Godric might be like the avatar, essentially. You know, like how gods can have like
Yeah.
physical form. Like it might be
Fused.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Garth, can you ask that?
Garth would turn to Magnar during this conversation and say, Magnar, do you have any idea what they're on about? It lost me like at least 10 minutes ago.
I'm sort of following, but they seem to be living two lives at the same time, which does make it a little tricky.
How do you live two lives at the same
Well,
time?
I don't know. There's either memories of very forgetful lot, as far as I can tell.
Who are you?
Oh, I have a thought. Adrian, some of your background seems to be quite fuzzy or unclear. Do you think you might come from the same place of imprisonment as Godric?
That would explain the anger coop.
I try to remember if that makes any sense to me.
Make a history check.
Yes, of course, because I'm fantastic at these. It's going to be so high, everyone. It's going to be so amazing. A 13.
You don't recall coming from a prison. You recall your country being grand, your home being this glorious tower of light and white stone and golden steeples and blue trim, men with robes, wizened kings, and what seemed to be these clockwork gears and mechanisms, a lot like the fish that Magnar has, until you, just like that tower in the dream, until it all came burning down.
Yeah, I'll relay that. Just no prison. It's a grand tower, lots of gears and metal men, and it's beautiful. And then
No,
all
No,
destroyed.
no. Now you see, you're mixing up stuff that you've read in books. I've read about that tower. I've seen drawings and pictures, but that's from long ago.
Well, no, that was my home. Remember what Godric said? He said, Knights of Ishgard.
I was going to let Hadrian finish.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm done. That's all I was going to say.
So, look, Godric is referencing a time before the gods. Both Hadrian and Godric are speaking primordial. We are talking about primordial beings that were banished by the gods in this period before the gods. It seems to me as feasible that Hadrian and Godric come from that period of the tower in this period before gods, and either perhaps if they were imprisoned somewhere, they don't have memory of it, or there has been some sort of time change, some sort of movement where Hadrian perhaps came from a decent past. I don't know, but the very least, there's been a lot of references to this tower, and Hadrian seems to have clear memories of it. Godric seems to be referring to an ancient past and being from that past. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that that is Hadrian's home. It just happens to be ancient history at this point.
Hang on a second then, because Godric had some symbols on his rings, and the fish that you mentioned, I bring out the symbols on this too that look like they're matched. Does this bring back any thoughts? And I put a hand on Hadrian and cast guidance as I'm showing him the fish, and showing the symbols on it in particular.
Make a history check, Hadrian. And add a D4.
Really?
All right.
19.
19. You recall the grand discovery of Arcana and being able to the foundries and forges could bring life to artificial beings. These forged entities of porcelain and steel, and this magnificent tower construction works, everything in this kind of time. And you recall people talking about gaining these powers and great hunts and making weapons to hunt beings that could shape and carve destiny and fate in the earth, and killing them off until politics and rivalries lit the world on fire. And then just you see great dragon wings rise up as millions of swords fly, slaughtering people, as with a brilliant breath of golden element and burning sun scorch the tower, cracking and sundering it. you recall the flying continent, the dragons, and the word Aruk.
Right.
And
I'll fall down to my knees a bit and just grab Magnar's shoulder.
Losing everything that you held dear.
Yeah.
And watching the world burn until this war raged for so long that it seemed the sky itself burned.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we just, Ishgard, they made statues of metal and porcelain that had life, had personalities. They made weapons to hunt these entities, these concepts that could be taken and split and destroyed and create gods. And it just... So many people died because they were fighting over that power and for those weapons to get them. And I remember just dragon wings and thousands of sword and the tower collapsing and the sky burning and then just darkness. But he'll kind of look up at everyone. And
you see Westor's hand on your shoulder. You can feel
I grab it.
You.
I came here seeking my brother. And I heard the words of prophecy that, as bullshitty as they may seem, it seems all of us heard them. I don't know what is going on. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. Sort of a hero's call thing again, if you refuse it, etc., etc., etc. But I do think that there is a good man buried in there. And I can't think of any reason why I'm here if it's not to help him if I can and stop him if I have to. I don't know any of you very well, but it seems we're tied together.
Is that one and the same? Helping him and stopping him?
I think it could be. It's more of a I'd rather bring him out of that darkness, but if I can't, then maybe destroying him is the only way. Just not how Jill would want to do it.
Well, we need answers because we don't know where to go or what to do on how to accomplish any of this.
I might have an idea.
Yeah?
I mean, when I was a young boy, when I was younger, I mean, just as a scavenger and such, you hear stories, you hear tales of the different ruins and things that you obviously want to explore. And I remember hearing about Bastion and that sort of city of just everything coming together and just the immense achievement and the magic and the gods and all that stuff. And those ruins are out there, right? Those cities and things, they still are out there. Maybe there's answers there, right?
It's a lot of different.
Far away.
Yeah, and is there one set of ruins? Are there many? Where do we begin?
We could look for the tower.
Well,
we could look for Bastion.
That's actually why I made this trip out in the first place, to try and get to the libraries that I can never go anywhere near again.
There's other libraries, aren't there?
I know, but it was a good place to start.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit upset about that as well. Sorry about that.
I think Amaris's libraries are nice, and again, I don't think Jill's going to spread this particular word. I think he's too arrogant.
We are not going to be able to get in.
I think we're brandished as criminals if we ever try to go back.
But in the shorter term, the Westery you mentioned earlier, the goddess of fate, and every time every time we bump into Godric, he keeps calling us like the fated ones, and he needs to cut the strings. And for one, I don't quite like the idea of wandering around these lands with the idea that there's strings yanking me from hither to thither. So, for what?
It's good. You speak primordial now.
Well, yeah. Well, yes. I do actually want to have a word with you about that later, but maybe it's not wrong that we need to cut the strings.
I think it depends on who's pulling the strings and what they're pulling us towards.
I was going to say that as well, because I feel like this may be a sort of, I mean, I'm a worshiper of the gods, and this sort of seems like something where if Godric is one of those, if the god, you were saying that they would hunt them and become gods, right?
Weapons beyond our ken, though.
Once again, don't forget Jill does know where we're at all times.
I'm counting on it.
Well, we might. I don't think Jill's going to be as stupid or rash as to attack us.
And if we leave Emeris, his power is gonna, right? Like,
yeah,
he can send people after us, but
just a second. Can I do an Arcana check to see if I know anything about Scry and whether it is purely visual or also audio?
Sure.
I mean, can't Jill just teleport wherever he wants? Is that how it works? I don't know.
Oops, wrong button.
I mean, there's typically a range to teleportation. I don't know how powerful he is. Maybe he can just teleport wherever. But
it would depend on the spell, I believe.
22 on Arcana.
So what you know is, generally speaking, scrying, there's an invisible sensor that it will appear. It only lasts for a few minutes at a time, and it is a difficult spell to cast. It is not something that an average person can do. It does take a bit of training, quite a bit of skill in order to do it, and it can exhaust someone very quickly. And so it is not something that one would use to constantly watch, but it does provide auditory and visual of the surrounding area. What you would also know is that the more familiar with the area someone is trying to teleport to, the easier it is. Being able to see it makes it exceptionally easy. Which would imply that that's probably how Gilles teleported to where you guys were at. He could see it, and he could teleport all of his people there, which means he could come crashing down at any moment whenever he feels he's ready. The question is, what would he do?
Does the teleport... actually, this is all Magnar, so actually... I'll hold off.
Well, no, I'll explain what I know about it, because I'll say I don't. It's not like he's watching us all day. He has to specifically try, but when he does, he can see and hear everything around us, and he can use that to specifically come and teleport to where we are.
Is the scrying, the visual auditory part of the scrying, is the source of that from the ring? So, for example, is he seeing from the ring?
That's your best guess.
Then maybe, Garth, you should wear a glove.
That's a great idea.
Glove?
Yeah, put a glove over the ring. Because then all he'll see is the inside of a glove.
Does anyone have a glove big enough for my hand?
I mean,
Wister is going to... Oh, do you?
I mean, mine might be too big, so...
Wester is going to go over and, you know what? Screw it. She's going to take the frills of her nice, courtly clothes and just start ripping them into shreds.
Okay.
And then just starts wrapping it around Garth's fingers. And, make a makeshift glove.
Yeah. Make a medicine check just to see how well you're kind of able to put it on his hand. And
without, causing him tremendous pain on his finger.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I'm sorry ahead of time. A 15. Okay.
15. Hey.
Take a point of damage, Garth, because your finger
Oh.
is still broken.
Fuck. I'll
But
bite a stick.
Sorry.
but
Sorry.
it is nice and
It's
kind of
alright,
wrapped up
just
around
grab
the hand.
fucking thing.
Actually, that's what store. That actually, your idea might be even better now of going to try and find a church, because typically they can remove curses.
Yes, that's true. So, I mean, it's a good place to start. It'll also be easier than trying to find the ruins of Bastion right away, because the thing is, this is a goddess of fate. I doubt she has many temples, so we'll have to go to a large city. The closest largest city, we're not exactly welcome at right now. So I think we'll probably want to go find another city. I'd rather not go to my home.
Well, where's the most likelihood of us finding a...
Make a survival check.
We'll also point out
at advantage
Godric
because
said-
you guys can all pull your collective knowledge. So one of you,
I think we probably
make
want
a
Garth.
check.
I
at
can.
advantage.
Yeah,
Okay.
Garth makes sense.
Advantage. Let's do this. 26.
Nice.
All right.
That wasn't even a nat 20.
I'll put you guys on the
I'm so smart.
battle map.
Mars.
map.
Godric did also say, by the way, that he would meet us at the Queen's birthday, and if this fate goddess is pushing us in his direction, or if we want to try anything.
So you guys can see
With
all
Jill.
of Emery's. But before we get into you guys plotting where you're going and figuring out the environment, I think we're going to take a brief break.
Yeah.
So,
Say it isn't
Thank
so.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
we're going to go to on break. Hi, everyone. We will be back shortly. See you soon.
Half of
And we're
it.
back. We're live. All right. Welcome back, everyone. So last we left off, you guys had just made a survival check to kind of look at the area that you guys were in and figure it out. I've put you guys on generally a portion, not to scale, obviously, of the region in Amaris where you are. You guys are a little bit between Versailles and Lava Sol, near the western woods of the Tonara Gulf. A few days' travel to your west is Trouvel and the coastline. To the east is the mountains and passage into Marcouche. Every Keep, Swell Keep for soldiers that you guys have heard about, and Fort Le Sueur for military stationing that you guys have heard. And the carriages and caravan were supposed to be making their way up through Toulouse and Cannes and Dulce into the capital city of Amaris, which is called Amaris. At this point, the others have taken the carriage and left, heading north. And you can see rain starting to pick up. The winds are starting to blow, and what was that about watch schedule?
I was trying to decide it in the side chat so we would be able to do that. I guess that didn't work out. Okay.
And you guys are kind of off on the side of the roads a little bit. A bit of a rain is picking up. It is the first night, so the air is finally cooled down a little. And you can see the forest fire is starting to go out a little bit in the distance. The smell of smoke is still is getting heavier as the flames are dying. And you guys have a chance to kind of discuss your plans. Magnar and Addis, you would know that the best libraries are in Amaris itself, where the Strixhaven University is, and all of the side libraries and books and commerce on books and ancient secrets, and where all of the people who travel the scavenger lands bring and trade their stuff. It's primarily going to be the largest repository you could possibly look for is going to be in Amaris.
If I remember correctly, there is a city north of us. I can't remember the name of it, but
Of a soul.
that sounds right. I think If we are to be going to a city, I mean, I wish we wouldn't. I kind of fucking hate the city. We should go there probably first and test things out.
We might be able
See
to
if we
find
need some sort of clever mustache disguise to get ourselves in to cities.
Yeah, see if
I
we're
don't
being
think I'd look very good in a mustache.
Oh, you do yourself too much discredit.
I could see it.
Mm.
Do you really? Do you think it wouldn't clash with the bluish skin and the white hair?
No,
I think you could work it,
ears.
sister. I think you could work it.
And
That's
Magna,
just me.
you're used to dwarven women with mustache and beards.
Yeah, Magnus just looking a bit sort of.
I mean, I've got green
Shrug.
skin, and
Tell Hadrian's
I'm-
deflecting.
I have a mustache facial hair. It doesn't clash, does it? Does it look bad?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
you're.
What the bloody hell?
What? It's an honest question.
No, I mean, is it the most important discussion to be having right now?
Sometimes you have to have silly discussions, Magna.
Yes, well, I maybe it might be better to dispose to it after I've had a bit of a sleep.
I'll be honest,
Well,
it'll be pretty easy to identify us because they can just say the people with the bear.
We're not ditching him. That is what
I'm not.
getting
No, I'm
at.
not. I'm not proposing we ditch him. I'm just saying I don't know if a mustache will help when we have a bear.
I
You
don't
could
mean
use a hat.
I don't mean to be personal, but the bear's not the most standout person in this
Sort of looking at
group.
us.
Giant
Yeah.
rock person.
Guys, Westora's right here.
Just,
I
it
mean,
could be
amongst
any
us-
giant
To be
rock
fair,
person
he's
covered
right.
with
I
her
do
arms.
kinda
She
It's
does
fine,
kind of
it's
stick
fine.
out amongst us because she's
I'm
like the
like
only
an
one.
embodiment of winter. I
She
mean, how
looks-
many of those are there?
She
I
looks
could change it. I could change another season.
Oh,
That
you're,
might help
you're
us.
fine. You're fine the way you are. It's fine. I just, it's. I really. Like,
I've been
let's be
thinking
honest.
about
We all
spring
stick out like
for
sore
a
thumbs, for
change.
fuck's sake.
Should we maybe sleep tonight here, and
Yeah.
in the morning make way for Leversur?
Yeah, that sounds.
Sounds like a
Sounds good.
plan.
We
Yeah.
should take watch tonight. It is very dangerous in the forest.
All right.
Especially
I
with
only
the
need
fire.
I only need about 4 hours of rest.
I can't see in the dark, so I might need someone to double up with me and
Oh.
help.
I'll watch with you if you want.
Sure.
I'll take a break the last 4 hours. So well, if you guys are going to go first, I'll do my
So you'll
my
take
trance
first
the first
and-
4 hours.
You'll take first and half of second watch with someone, Westora, who's taking first watch with you.
No, I thought they were saying they would take first watch, right?
Yeah,
Or-
me and Adis will take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm saying
Wester will
I'll-
take second and half of third.
I'll do my rest, my trance,
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
first half of the night, and then the second half of the night I'll just do 2 watches.
So I guess it makes sense then for me to. Wait a minute.
Well, we could have
I'm trying to think.
Hadrian and Westor take second, and Westor and Magnon take third.
That works.
All right. Then.
Cool.
All
Right.
right. So Addis and Garth, you guys are on your first watch through the night. The smoke smells pretty heavy. You can smell that nice timber burning, kind of ashy scent, sweet scent of wood fire. And it's a little distracting, Addis. You're familiar with the scent. But it's overall a nice, pleasant night. It's almost letting a weight off of your shoulders as you guys have a little bit of time to yourselves. If there's anything you guys would like to say.
I think as Addis is sort of sitting there trying to distract himself a little bit, he's gonna start doing what he does of setting out the coins again as sort of the offering to the different gods, and sort of sitting there arranging all these different stacks of little coins as he's sort of laying them out in sort of a circle of 12.
Oh,
Garth will just kind of raise an eyebrow at that. What are you doing?
I'm giving offerings or prayer or worship, I guess.
To what?
I mean, the 12, you know, the gods.
12.
Yeah. Do I need to? Do you not know about the gods?
I don't know. I really don't.
Oh, uh, did they not teach you about them when you were younger?
Teach. I
Yeah,
was
like
I was taught how to survive when I was younger, and that's why I'm here today.
okay.
didn't
Well, I
really-
mean,
Were you taught about the gods when you were younger? Is everyone taught about gods when they're young?
I mean, I was taught a little, and then I sought further and further information, I guess, like reading and all that sort of stuff.
Reading
Yeah, like books.
books, right? Yeah, books. Yeah, I've seen books before. Could never
Okay, yep,
understand them though.
Okay. Well, I mean, the books aren't the important thing as much as the information inside them, you know. So you don't know any of the gods. I mean,
No.
you gave me a sort of like Nylea vibe,
Who?
goddess of the hunt. She's all about animals and hunting and stuff like that. She's also, I think, goddess of the moon.
As you say that, you hear a howl.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, some sort of wolf, maybe.
That's not good. If wolves know where we are, that's not a good thing.
I didn't think wolves normally attack travelers with fires.
They don't normally, but I've seen some wild shit. It depends on how big the pack is. If they think they
That's
have a
true.
chance, they will.
Keep an eye out then, I guess.
Yeah. But back to the topic. Nylea, she sounds kind of cool. What's she about?
I mean, I don't want to play favorites at all. I mean, I think all the gods are I don't want to say equally great because some of them would be mad at me for saying that. So I'm just going to say all the gods are gods. Nylea, she's all about, like the hunt and just, I mean, like have you ever heard people like refer to the moon as being like beautiful and like feminine and stuff like that?
Well, I think the moon is quite beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like she's the goddess of the moon. So like it's said that she's also very beautiful and sort of. I know she wields like a bow, right? She's all about hunting and nature and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean she's definitely a noble goddess. I think I would say. Like,
Noble guys. I don't like the sound of that.
no, it's a good thing. She's a hunter, but also like a protector, if that makes sense.
I think I see what you're getting at. How do you like, I guess, pray or offer to Nalia or something like that? Whatever you're doing.
I mean, so like if I was a specific worshiper of her, you know, I think like great hunts, I believe, is sort of something that she's interested in. Like you would essentially like choose some sort of beast of grand valor or something like that, that you would basically show your prowess and stuff like that. I mean, like a typical just like priest or something would likely just have like animal sacrifices and the sort. But I don't know if there are a ton of typical priests in Nylea. Most people who worship her would be outdoorsy people.
I see.
Make
I
perception
mean, I'm sure there's
checks.
some people. Oh,
Shit. Oh, I do get
uh,
expertise on this, so I'll get +2 to whatever I roll.
and I assume I'm at disadvantage.
Not for
because
this
of
one.
Dark.
Not for
Okay.
this one. Oh, I still get my +2, right? With double my proficiency.
That's a 10.
Because I'm in the forest.
Yep.
Alright. 24.
22. Nice.
So both of you, Addis, You don't really notice the second half of this, but as usual, one of the piles of gold that you have set out has vanished, and the rest have toppled over. However, Garth, you notice all of the piles have toppled to the west.
To the west.
And did not seemingly fall like different directions, kind of out or splayed or random. They all fell the same direction.
Must be the wind.
How much gold would I have lost from that pile, by the way, Preston?
Making your rounds, 3 gold.
3 gold.
Before we go to bed, I did cast the spell. Here's a berry. Eat it. It will give you enough food for the day. I don't know when the last time we ate was.
Oh.
Try it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's almost a good berry.
And Garth, you notice as Barry seemingly walks off into the woods.
Berry, don't. Fuck.
Oh, do we need to go get him?
I'll be right back. He gets like this sometimes. Leave it to me. I'll go find him.
You sure?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got
okay.
it. If I run into something, I'll just yell really loud, and hopefully get your attention.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong with that.
I will take a
Go
torch
away.
and light it and go up to Barry.
Okay.
So as you're going after Barry and kind of walking through, waving the torch through the woods,
Addis's eyes are tracking the fire.
you see the fire kind of as he goes in, and as he disappears into the shadows, you make out the faint, glowing yellow eyes that are enormous, peeking through the shadows as great gray and white fur looms into perspective and then darkens the area behind Garth as he vanishes into the woods. The small swoosh of the tail, everything just disappears into the darkness. And you hear howling. Garth, as you look for Barry, waving your torch around, you eventually come to a small clearing. There, you hear Barry roaring and wrestling with a giant wolf. Must stand as tall as a man. Terrible fangs, just wrestling with him. They're throwing each other around. And the whole area is filled with moonlight. And from behind you, a soft feminine voice whispers in your ear as you feel a hand run across your hair. How are you this evening, my hunter?
Shit! Oh, fuck! So I turn around. Do I see her?
You just see this silver-skinned woman clad in ephemeral, diaphanous, flowing shadows of stars and twinkling light and glimmering silver, able to see through the pale, almost bluish-gray flesh beneath. Eyes of piercing stars and moon, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen.
I would take a step back and
She step back.
no, not to be rude, but what are you?
I am your guide, your patron, your sister. I am the arrow that you fire, and the beating in your heart, the thrill of the chase. You have known me for so long.
I have. Do I recognize her at all?
Never seen her before, but there is something familiar about her.
I look back. Is Barry all right?
Barry is seemingly in the fight of his life, like wrestling with this giant wolf, this dire wolf.
1 minute, excuse me. I've got to help my bear. Can I talk to you in a minute? And I will turn around and take out my bow and fire an arrow at the wolf.
All right, make it to hit roll.
Shit. Disadvantage yet because of my finger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. 15.
The arrow goes wide,
Fuck.
and the wolf seizes the opportunity as Barry kind of ducked out of the way and bites into Barry's throat as Barry goes down. Now go
I
and drink his blood. Make him one with you.
drink.
He is your
his-
guide and your totem. He is your spirit and your kin. He is a noble warrior, and he will watch over you for all of your days.
Like, literally drink his blood.
Feast of his heart, so that your hearts may be as one.
Oh, alright. But is he dead? Can I go look? Is he dead?
So long as one heart beats, the other will. If both fail, if both hearts stop, neither shall return.
I will kneel down and I guess scoop up some blood and drink it.
You see Barry kind of spectrally dissipate and slowly dissolve,
No.
and then sort of let out a breath as Barry rematerializes, bigger, stronger, his fur covered with little salt and pepper streaks of gray and white as the rest has gone black and dark. And he stands almost as tall as you do.
Oh
Muscled.
shit! You
Kinda
grown up, Barry.
So, and just embraces you in a hug.
Oh, I hug him back, obviously. Oh, how? So you stand as tall as I do?
Mm-hmm.
Like on his hind legs or like just on fours?
On force.
Holy shit, Barry! How the fuck did you do that?
It lets out a triumphant roar, and then you hear all the wolves howl. And Addis, as you're sitting there at the fire, kind of staring, waiting to see what's going on, kind of tepidly kind of reaching towards the shadows of the woods, kind of curious about what just happened. You hear hundreds of wolves howling, echoing through the woods in the distance, and a mighty bear roar.
Well, from what Garth told me, he's probably been eaten by now, so I will have to tell the party the bad news when I wake up the next evening for watch.
All right.
Um,
So,
I s-
Garth, we'll come back to you in a moment.
yeah.
Addis, he does not return for the rest of your watch.
I'm gonna make a wisdom save, I think, for Addis real quick. Yeah, no, he's dumb enough. He's gonna go after him. He's gonna go off into the woods without waking anyone up. He's just gonna.
Yes.
All right. Addis, as you run off into the woods, eventually everything starts to go dark and begins to get hilly. It's hard for you to see, you start to lose your way. And you start to hear a familiar sound. Heavy wings flapping in the air. As they shadow, you hear the rush of wind overhead. Make a wisdom save.
God.
No.
17.
You quickly turn. No, can't be. And you keep going, looking for your friend, trying to find, looking through the darkness as it just gets heavier and heavier, until you start to kind of come across this large rock, kind of in it. And it looks like kind of a mound of rocks, kind of in the area, and As you start to climb up, you start to notice it's a little spiky, like there's sharp ridges and cracks, and you're climbing up, kind of up over the top, and you get up onto a lip, kind of pulling yourself over, and you can notice these ridges and cracks in the rock, and as you look up, fiery eyes open in front of you, and the large stones break apart, and the dragon's head begins to form out of the shadows. What do? Staring you down. You can see its toothy, stone-like maw opening and little bits of flame licking.
God, I think Alice is gonna rage as just like pure like fight or flight response kicks in, and his heart is beating so fast, and it starts to just blue light starts emanating, and his veins start to glow blue, and he's going to rage and sort of run at it and attempt to sort of smash it with his staff.
As the flames lick over you and erupt, you feel the bones and stone stretch and warp as you twist, and mighty, like, symbols start appearing on your body as you take your stick and you just start bashing at the dragon until you shatter the staff, and then just start pounding with fists as flames are bursting from the strikes that you're hitting so hard. And the stone seems to burst into flames around you, and that's the last thing you remember. Westora.
Yes.
You wake up from your trance and find the camp devoid of Addis and Garth.
All right. I immediately go over to Hadrian, who I'm supposed to keep watch with, and shake him awake.
All right.
He's like gets up, like pulls a knife out.
Oh, it's just me.
He pulls another knife out. No, he doesn't. No, sorry.
What did I do? Garth and Addis are gone.
Well, okay, so note for the future, if they ever return, we should not let them take first watch again, because wandering off in first watch is sort of an...
Well, I mean, do you think something could be wrong?
I mean, I should certainly fucking hope so. But I'm gonna look around the camp and see if there's any signs of, like, a struggle, or, like...
Make an
Did Jill
investigation
pop
or
in
survival
with a
check.
I will
really
help.
not
All
good
right.
at these.
With advantage.
That should not have been guidance, so 15.
You find a trail heading off into the woods.
So they both headed off into the woods.
Well, let's wake up Magnar. No reason for the two of us to go off and get lost, at the very least. And Komos. At the very least, if we all go off into the woods and die horrible deaths, we'll do it together.
That's a strangely touching sentiment for something that sounds like a really stupid idea, but yeah, sure.
Do we want to leave Magnar here to die by himself while the
No,
rest of us are gone?
I was more talking about the going into the
Komos?
woods part, not the waking up Magna part. Although now, come to think of it, that also sounds like a stupid idea. I don't think he'd be very stealthy in the woods, but
I don't think if something's wrong, I'm not worried about being stealthy.
Okay. I'm gonna go kick Magnar in the face.
All right. Give me one moment.
God.
And I'll go wake up Komos. Because Kyle's not here, I keep forgetting his character.
Magna, thou sleep has taken thee too far, and so
Oh.
shalt thou rise
I should
upon the morrow.
also real quick on my character sheet. I finished my long rest.
Yes, you did. Magnar, as you are sleeping,
yes.
you find yourself back in your halls of Cormund, inside the temple, and the head priest says, No, you're doing it all wrong. You have to accept the burning of the coals. They are sacred. We must endure the heat. So go in and lift it up with your bare hands. Stop using the gloves. You need to embrace it. Build callous.
Why would I not use perfectly fine tools?
It's a ritual. Dezka's flame is sacred. It burns in every dwarf. It burns across the land. You have to feel it to connect to it.
I can connect to it just fine, Buster. Fine. You're not going to shut up until I do it.
All right. As you go over, you pick up the round coal. It burns, cindering down to the hands. You feel like it should burn all the way through your hands, and yet somehow doesn't as you carry the coals to each of the 4 places, these 4 braziers around a large statue. You see the statue is holding a giant hammer in its stone hands, but interestingly enough, the hammer seems to be made of a magical, shimmering silver material that's native to the mines of Cormund. Residium, a blessing of Dezka. It is said that he blessed this land and forged it with the World Forge, just like the great flying city of Uruk. As you put each of the sphere coals in each of the braziers and they're all lit, something compels you. Something you would never dare do in real life, to reach for that hammer. What do you do?
Reach out and grasp it.
All right. As you do, you grab the hammer. You see this yourself standing over a forge, a round anvil in front of you, almost like a globe, hammering away. Clang, 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 clang. And your brother walking in. Brother you never knew you had. As you continue to forge this mighty sword. Clang, clang, clang. You see him pick it up and kind of look at you. Yes, with this we'll tame the world and show everyone the glory of Uruk. Brother, Eo will lead us to great victory. The sun will shine across all of Endara. And I'll be able to finally fight all those other would-be challengers. They say that they're gods, but it's us, brother. We're the ones who are meant to hold this power. What more glorious kingdom is there than Uruk? You yourself lifted our nation into the sky. You continue to hammer at the forge, working on more weapons, knowing of the war to come, knowing what they'll be used for. And then you're shaken awake.
What? I
Oi,
must keep
Sleeping
forging.
Beauty.
No, I've got to finish this, or we're... Wait, what?
I look down. Hello?
Sorry, I was somewhere else for a moment.
You know, that is not something I can criticize you for. But, we should really be going because Garth and Addis have disappeared into the forest. And, Wester, I think it's a good idea to go in after them and share their fate, whatever it be. So, chip.
I don't appreciate your tone.
I
Is he
smile at
wrong?
her and give a bit of a bow. And just like, yes. This is one of my greatest strengths.
rudeness. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's in jest.
You come up.
Come on,
You
if
come
we're
up
going to
with
go
new
into the
ways
forest,
to be rude every day.
Yes,
Quite remarkable.
we should get going. Have I had a long rest or no at this point?
Yes.
if we're going to go into the forest to die, we should at least have some humor about it. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right, do you know which way they
We're going
went?
in there to help our compatriots. Why do you think that means we're going to die?
I'm just a fatalist, I think, honestly.
Fair
Right,
enough.
let's go. So, all of us here are really good at following tracks, right? No?
Wait
Well,
a second.
I
The one
propose
person
Magnon.
who's good at following tracks is the person whose tracks we're trying to follow.
Right. Therefore, I propose we make Magnon do it.
What?
Oh, I'll help you.
If we're underground, maybe, but
Oh, fine, I'll try to do it. Okay.
I'll keep hand on and cast guidance as you do it.
All right, make a
I will
survival
help.
check.
As an FYI, I'm really bad at these, but...
I'll help you. I'll help you. We'll look
Okay.
together.
Okay, we'll work together. 20.
You guys follow the trail and disappear into the woods as eventually you find
I don't like the phrase disappear in this context.
You are make your way through the large trees. It is dark. It is hard to see. And Westera, make a perception check for me.
Alrighty.
All right. You see little pixie lights, little dancing lights, kind of following and looking at you, and kind of giggling and pointing as they disappear behind everything. A little watching.
Should there be pixies outside of an area near the Feywild?
You don't feel anything about the Feywild near here. This is a little unusual. And as you're kind of looking around and getting a little distracted by these things, kind of look at you, and you occasionally hear them kind of whispering your name and giggling, and like can see little pointing gestures from the little glowing pixies kind of falling around and looking at you. It reminds you of your time in the court. Going about all the rules, the deals, the trading, the pranks that you used to play on people. And you recall the Winter Court very much about change. And the figure that rules the Winter Court. The Great Fey King. The Mask of Winters. This glorious crown that looks like a sun, double-sided. You recall Zomira of the Changing Colors from the Fall Court, who you personally had actually met once, and her desire to unite the courts. And they seem to be watching you. You get the feeling that you are being observed and tested.
Is this as I'm walking through the woods,
Mhm.
or is this sort of like
Yes.
Wistora actually is probably not very happy to be reminded of the Fey courts, or the idea that they are currently watching her. So she's probably just very silent
Okay.
as she walks through the woods.
Eventually, you guys find Garth, Barry, and a scorched and burnt giant Addis all laying on the ground, seemingly sleeping in the middle of nowhere, kind of all curled up, laying on each other.
Well, that would be touching if it weren't so fucking irritating. Well, shit. I would say we should drag them back to the camp, but Addis is huge.
We'll just work him up.
Frosty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm curious about the Fae and the setting, things like that. If we were, depending on the setting or the game, kidnapping people and making them see things that aren't real, playing with their minds.
Absolutely
Having
something
fall
that the
asleep
Spring
very-
Court likes to do.
Right? Is there any way of telling that my character would know?
Make an Arcana check. That'd be more the summer court, the fun, have fun, pranks, lure people into the woods.
I rolled a 20 again.
You do see signs that Addis and Garth and Barry were like swinging at something not long ago, and you do catch like the faint smell of feyweed and maybe a little bit of dung and a sort of spicy tinge to the air, like someone threw sleeping powder in their face. But other than that, it seems strange that they would just... It looks like they just walked out here, stood here for a little bit, then got into a small, brief scuffle, and then passed out, which seems really unusual.
And not like something that they would...
No, they would make it a grander show.
Right.
I mean, a fae might have helped in this. A fairy or a pixie might have been helping, but this isn't like a summer prank.
Are those pixies still there? Ones
They
that have
seem
been
to be
following?
watching you from the distance, kind of.
All right. Can I, if I approach them, what do they do?
They kind of start to back off and disappear further into the woods.
All right. I'll say in Sylvan. What's so funny?
That you lost, and you have no clue.
No
You're
clue
supposed to
about
do
what?
So much.
So much for who?
What boss lady wants of you?
And who's the boss lady?
You know who. You make
Really,
your pact with her. You make your deals with her. She gives you power.
Oh. Frosty, we never went through this in my background, but you kind of hinted just now that was the fake queen character of the... Which court was it? Was it
Well,
Fall
you had said that you had made deals and that you were a warlock of the Fey Pact. Great.
right? But I didn't specify exactly which
Yes.
Fae it was.
Yeah, you can't remember.
Yeah. Oh. But you did mention one Fae that stood out. What you just
Zomira.
described.
Zomira
Zomira.
and the Mask of Winters.
Do you mean Samira?
You remember her name. She remembers her name. She remembers her name. She remembers her name. She remembered the name. And you hear them clapping.
Does she want to talk to me?
Not yet.
Well, then I'll wait until she does. What happened to my friends?
Can you keep a secret?
Not very well. Tell me anyway.
Make a persuasion check.
15. You know what? I'll go ahead and spend my inspiration on that to reroll.
Okay.
25.
They get the Huntress gives them power, and we're supposed to give you some too.
Really? Can you give it to me now, or do I have to wait?
I don't know. Should we give it to her? Oh, another one kind of pops out. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what Boss Lady said to do.
It sounds like you're supposed to give it to me now.
What if I don't wanna? What if I want it?
Well, I'm not going to force you.
Well, that's nice. I suppose nice ladies should get power. Okay. But you'll have to eat it. He kind of
Okay.
pulls out this little tiny itty bitty pixie sized cupcake. I made it myself.
I'll pick it up. What flavor is it?
Bozzleberry.
Ooh, I like bozzleberry. I eat it.
It's very tasty, and you feel.
But
yourself
out of
go
curiosity,
slower.
what does Adrian and Magnar say?
Yeah.
We're just staring at.
You guys don't see the pixies.
Like a 3 or 4
You
minute
just hear.
conversation.
I'm watching her like talking
watching
to herself. Like,
Laura, talking to her.
You know,
talking
Magna-
to her.
And in a
Magna,
language
it
they don't
seems-
understand.
Yeah.
by the way.
yeah, I'm just like, it seems Westerer and I have a bit more in common than I originally thought, which is
I've
quite
been-
worrying, actually.
I've been trying to tell the pair of you this for some time, that you've got deep past that neither of you can remember.
Hey, just to make it even more like Westeros might be crazy, she'll look over at you briefly at one point and she'll go, "Pixies," and then turns back.
Hey, I look around and I just say, wyverns. Now you go. I'll just look at Magna and be like, I think we're playing a free name association game. I can't think of something. You've got to help me out.
What, from wyverns?
Pterodactyl.
It's a pretty big escalation from pixies to wyverns.
Yes, I know, but hey, if there's one thing I have learned about myself in the past couple of days, that escalation is kind of my forte. Me? What's going on? Why me?
I ate the cupcake. Now you make a dex save.
19.
So you feel like just instinctually kind of feel like a whoosh go past your head. It's like,
I matrix dodge.
Not bad, boy. Come now, let us see what you have, and make another dex save.
What? Who? I'm just like kind of like trying to spiral out at this point in time. 9.
So you feel something kick you in the back, and you go flying forward. Magnar, you just watch as out of nowhere, Adrian just flies into the rock and like cracks in the rock craters around him.
Oh, I get up and look back. Oh,
I do not understand the rules of this game.
I just look at him and say,
Adrian, you see
Angels.
a figure in glorious white plate armor. Brilliant white wings erupt from his back and say, "Come now, war's coming! We have a mighty battle to face. You should be starting it."
Who the fuck are you? And I'm gonna run at him and headbutt him.
Make it to him.
I don't know who this guy is, but I think he'll appreciate what you're about to do.
I really hope so. It feels like it's from the heart. Frosty,
Yeah.
I don't have, but I will make this with my dagger, and I will pray. I'm guessing it's not gonna hit, but I'm gonna spend another hero point. I just want to hit him really badly.
You run up and try and jump up and headbutt, and he just steps back, and you kind of do a flip.
Could I not have
like,
made
and
that
then
with advantage because I
stumbling
jumped at him and he might have been slightly surprised?
What was that total? 19?
forward. As you
19,
kind of stumble forward and hit the ground.
If these are who I suspect they are, you're never gonna hit them.
I get back up and try again as I'm swinging. I'm like,
Alright.
what fucking war?
That's
Who are you
spirit,
people?
glorious!
What is going on?
Yes!
And I'm just like,
Show
punch him
me
in the
it!
face.
Draw your sword! Cast down your oath! Join the fight!
What
The greatest
oath?
war of all time. Well, nearly greatest. The greatest war in a long time.
Wait, but what oath? What oath I say is I'm going to take the sword and I'm not going to use the blade, but I'm going to like reverse it and try and pommel him in the face with it.
Make it a hit roll.
Fuck!
As he
19
catches
again.
the pommel and he says, "This lie of peaceful life, you've given it up. You're a warrior. At least put it to good use." And he's going to punch you.
We're about to watch murder.
Oh yeah. But Hadrian has it coming.
Fuck off! Why is my one person intent on killing me?
My bear died.
Yeah, but he came back though.
Ouch. What is that, to hit or is that damage? I
That's
don't
a
know.
hit roll.
Okay, that'll miss me actually.
As he
I
punches you in the stomach,
his
and you
fist.
just tank it.
And I like look at him and I grab his head and I'm gonna try and headbutt him
Make an
again.
athletics check, see if you can grapple him.
Oh God, that's not gonna go well. 11. But I'm still attacking him though. I was saying I grabbed him for flavor, not for the.
You try and grab onto him, and he grabs onto your wrist. Good. That's the spirit. Never
As he
give
does
up.
that, can I try and swing with his grab and like try and get up behind him and like try and pummel him in the back of the head with the sword? Like,
No, because he's gonna take you at that point and just throw you back into the rock. Now pick up your sword. Draw it.
what is this sword? Who are you? Why am I here? And honestly, man, can you pull the punch a second?
I can't answer any of the former, and I'm not bloody punching you.
You're just seeing him
Magnar,
fly around like a rag doll.
as I point at Magnar, this doesn't involve you. This is between me and this fucker. And I'm gonna run at him, and I'll smack him with the flat of the blade of the sword.
Okay. Again, a sword materializes out of thin air, blocking it. And he says, maybe when you're ready.
I'm gonna
You'll
take,
be
as he
worthy.
says that, I'm gonna
And
stab him. I'm gonna stab him.
a
As he says
23
that,
will
I'm
hit. He's get.
I'm tired of him right now. I will stab him if I can. Okay, if I can
Hey,
survive.
he runs you through for 8 points of damage and casts
As I
you to
look
the
up at him.
ground.
Ugh. No, I get back up and I just stab at him with the blade. Like, get away from me, you fucker!
Roll your to hit.
Jesus, why can I
You're
not
swinging,
roll?
and you just can't hit him. As he
I'm gonna
looks at you and he says, "You must
I
devote yourself to war and conquest, to the crown, to glory. Then we will speak again."
I'm gonna try stabbing him one more time.
Disappears.
Wait, can I get that last stab on him?
No.
Please?
No.
Oh.
So,
You're
what
all
happened
going to
when
gain
I-
a level, except for Hadrian.
What?
Well, actually, Hadrian, you can get a level in fighter or another class if you want. You're not getting your paladin oath yet.
Was the cupcake good?
It was delicious.
I will
delicious.
compliment the
That's
pixie. By the way, I'm
so
assuming
right.
all this fighting's happening in the background
Yeah.
while I'm talking to
Can
the
I just say,
pixies.
I did try and stab him in the end. He had to pull that out of me, but I tried to kill him with the sword. Like,
Yeah, and he told
I don't know what-
to swear it all. You will gain a level, just not in paladin. He's telling you gotta swear your oath to gain your level in paladin.
okay, I tried to swear an oath of devotion and that didn't work. I don't want to take a fighter level because
Okay.
that's a really bad idea. So, what are my options here?
When did you swear your oath of devotion?
I tried to swear that I would go either like help Godric or stop him or die trying, and that was earlier in the thing when I was talking to Westora after I had my entire memory thing. I'm happy to make that oath of devotion with respect to it being a war style oath, or to change that around a little bit. But like,
I'll allow it. I'll allow you to gain your paladin.
I
oath
tried
if you wanna
to be
roleplay
that
out
like.
your- I did not. It did not seem like you were swearing, but you are welcome to roleplay an oath. As you guys kind of pick yourselves up, Addis and Garth, you are woken up by the tremendous racket. As you just see a wound as you're waking up appear on Hadrian. But yeah, I'll allow you to gain your oath if you want to roleplay out the oath, whatever oath that you decide to swear as you guys wake up. And you guys notice that Barry is different. Much bigger, as is Addis. Addis, you're gaining the level. You're all going to gain a level. To level 3.
Frosty, I know I've talked to you about this before, but out of curiosity, because I don't think that Hadrian is swearing an oath of conquest, because that's very like law and
He said glory.
I also don't think Hadrian cares about that. That's why I was like a little on those. I could do vengeance.
That's
or,
what the guy who just beat the shit out of you and kind of tossed you around like a rag doll wants you to swear an oath to. He seems to think that you are a war bringer and that there's a big one coming. So join him. You don't have to swear an oath to that.
No, I was gonna say I feel like the I sent this oath to you before, but the flavor of the oath of strife of endless conflict seems more like Hadrian. But if that's not allowed, then I can. All right.
One of the people in chat did bring up that we left Douglas back at the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that's fine.
Shit. No, not him.
Bad move, bro. You know what? I'm hungry, and there's a sleeping dude just right there.
I was about to turn dark.
Komos is smoking him back at the camp. That's how he'll get his level.
Just a level in druid.
just to clarify, Frosty, if I wanted to swear with this being, it'd have to be either vengeance, conquest, or glory, correct?
Conquest, the crown, glory.
Okay, gotcha.
We're woken up, yeah?
Yeah, you guys are waking up and see Hadrian gets just a sword materialize in Hadrian and then disappear.
Did we get a long rest?
Yep. You guys all got your long rest, and you all get.
I'm gonna fall to my knees, gasping for breath. Ouch!
Shit.
Is this still none of my business, or is it allowed to be part of my business now?
I can't speak for anybody else, but I met with my patron. Kind of. Not really.
Did you try and kill you?
No, did yours?
I don't know who you are.
What are you anyway?
I don't know. Right now I'm in pain. Ow.
Have you stabbed yourself again?
No. I don't think so.
That didn't sound very sure to me.
So
He might have
Frosty,
said himself.
Mm-hmm.
at my third level, I pick a pact boon.
Yes.
There is not a pact of the cupcake.
There should be.
There should be. But here's what I have a thought. I was debating when I got to level 3 whether I was going to do Pact of the Tome or Pact of the Talisman. Here's a thought. What if I had a friendship bracelet? Or one of those little chains that have a little cupcake on it?
Mm-hmm.
That could be my talisman.
Sounds good to me.
That seems a bit on the silly side for my character, but I think a little brevity
It's
would be
cute.
nice.
It's cute.
So I'll go Pact of the Talisman.
You met? What'd you meet?
Pixies. Little, small, flying,
Griffins.
fairy creatures.
Did you hit your head today?
No.
Hard.
No.
Sure.
You must have. You bloody wandered off and left the camp.
I motion at myself and say, Faye. I'm from a
I
place
motion at myself
where
and say,
they are real.
Goliath.
The boys from the
Yeah.
dwarf.
Pixies aren't that weird for me. Maybe they are for you. They're not that weird for me.
Does anyone know what a
pixies?
pixie is?
They're a little small flying fey creature.
He was off talking
They like
to
to
the
play
priest for a bit.
jokes. By the way, I think you were asleep because of that.
Oh, I didn't see any pixies before I fell asleep.
No, you likely wouldn't have. They're very good at that.
I'm pretty sure Garth got attacked by wolves.
No, I didn't get attacked by wolves. Barry did.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
speaking
don't-
of which, where is Berry?
he's right here.
No,
You can't miss him.
no, that's not Berry. Don't want to break it to you, but you found the wrong bear.
No, it is. Barry,
oh shit!
Shit.
Did we just find a wild bear?
Yeah, I
This
think
is the
so.
wrong one.
Barry, sit.
Sits down.
See, it's fucking Barry.
We don't know if it's Barry unless he can drink an entire keg of alcohol.
I
Kinda
have
puts
a
his
barrel.
paws out.
I have a barrel of ale on me. Do you want to see this? Not to prove it.
Well,
I feel like him putting his arms out proves it enough.
I have to say that the chances of finding an obedient bear that follows your command and drinks beer is somewhat improbable, and I'm prepared to believe that maybe it is Barry,
Yeah, no, same.
despite appearances.
Anyone else meet anybody interesting? Just a question.
I was having a very strange dream before I got rudely awakened rather earlier than I was expecting.
What was your
fought a
dream
rock.
of? If you wish to share.
Well,
you guys hear Addis say he fought a rock.
Did you win? I hope.
What was its name?
Did you win? I hope.
against a rock.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
You do look a bit on the burnt side.
I always look kind of like that. I don't
That's
appreciate
sensitive.
that.
Don't bring that up.
Why did you attack a rock?
The bandages slightly. It was
Seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
I think it was evil.
Insight check. Insight check. A rock can't be fucking evil.
All right.
It's a
I'm
rock.
gonna make a deception check, and it's gonna be bad. God.
Oh, 16?
shit,
Does that mean a beat or?
Yeah.
Oh, so what do I pick up from that?
I mean, yeah, Addis fought some sort of rock thing because he thought it was evil. Yeah.
It was a very bad, scary rock.
It was a very bad, scary rock, and he
Note
attacked
to
it.
self: rocks can be evil. All right.
But yeah, you
Oh.
said. Wait.
Magnar, you had a dream. Is
Yeah,
that-
well, it started reasonable enough. I was back in the priesthood, and the high priest was having us do the rituals and lighting holding the coals. But then it all got a bit weird, and I do hope
I'm so
this-
sorry. Did the priest touch you? Are you okay?
what? No,
No. Okay.
no. But then I was forging weapons on this round anvil, and I was being shouted at that the weapons would help us lead Ao to victory.
Your god is god of the forge, right?
Oh yes.
Do you feel like I feel a newer connection to my patron after what happened with me?
I
Do you
was
feel anything similar?
I do, as it happens. I can't quite put a finger on it. The other fella there said that I had helped raise the city of Aruk into the sky, which
Punch him.
You punch
Just
him.
reflexively, as he says he raised Rook into the sky, hit him.
Take a point of damage. We'll say. Just
Hey,
punch
hey,
him.
Adrian, the fuck?
That's an
Sorry,
appropriate
I-
response. Gar-
I'll go over and punch
Sorry.
Adrian. The fuck? With my broken
Ow.
hand.
well, Story, just put your hands up. Nobody punch me.
Wait.
I will.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Wait. Is that like a reverse psychology thing?
No, that's not. That is straight up. Don't punch me. They're punching each other. I just want to make sure I'm not included.
Magnar, can I borrow that glass bottle of yours?
it's back at the camp. Help yourself to it later.
Damn it.
You guys start your hike back while you're talking. Magnar, if you were wanting to continue.
I don't remember a great deal after that because somebody woke me up. But it was definitely leading a war to victory, and the weapons were needed.
Well, I mean, if we're being directed by the gods, it does make sense that those of us with some kind of connection to the gods might be gifted powers or encouraged to gain strength. Garth, what happened with you exactly?
No, nothing. Barry went off in the woods, and then I woke up, and Barry was big.
That was it?
That's it.
All right, well, never mind. I guess my theory Hadrian, who are you fighting?
Okay, well, porcelain white armor, 6 wings, very strong, impossible to hit, annoyingly so.
You recognize the description, Magnar.
Hmm.
As the other figure in your dream.
Yeah.
That's who was talking to me in mine.
Yeah, I think his name is Mogus. I need to go have a word with him.
Who
Fuck.
is this Mogus? How could we?
He's
find him?
the god of war,
Well, he did seem rather keen on war, it must be said.
and he did want me to bring war.
It's not.
I may be
Necessarily.
willing to do that, but not, I think, in the terms he suggested, so I'm gonna see what I can do there.
Quick question, Hadrian.
Hmm.
How does one have a word with a god or goddess?
I don't know. I was thinking of walking off into the woods on my own, while people were relying upon me to keep watch at camp, and then just sort of screaming at the sky until somebody came to answer me. Does that sound like a great idea to you? Because it sounds like a great idea to me.
No,
that
I
does
think you're
not-
being really irrational.
Yeah,
and-
that sounds
and,
like
you
a
know,
very
I
bad
think,
idea.
yeah, I don't think you should do that.
Who would
Oh
do that?
yeah, you'd have to be an idiot, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Having
Which,
said
so
that,
honestly, that fits you. You know, maybe you should.
thank you. I do think of myself as expendable and intellectually inferior. I am
You are, don't
Frosty
worry.
gonna walk into the woods
All right.
and sort of
Okay.
whatever you want me to. I'm not walking too far, just like a little
You know,
off in the corner.
I don't know what happened to all of y'all, but I got a nice little cupcake from Pixies. I
Look,
think I had the best experience here.
Your patron sounds amazing. The guy who wanted to talk to me stabbed me.
Well, actually, to be honest, I couldn't quite remember who my patron was until this happened. But no, she's
What
a.
is-
Hey.
Was my patron The Rock?
Well, you're not a
Would-
warlock, so I don't think you would have a patron.
You've got
Was
a
his
name, the Rock.
Dwayne?
I don't know what's going on with you and rocks. Okay, that
He's made of
seems
rock.
to be your thing.
I am. That is fair. Ooh.
Rusty, when everyone else is done, I am going to go and try and. I don't know if Mogus is listening, but I will try and address him after that entire conversation.
All
So,
right.
Hadrian has noticed. Anyone here know how to contact a god or goddess?
Why do you want to know?
I'm just curious if.
I mean, I brought it up with you. Of,
arises. Yeah.
do like sacrifices and stuff like that.
Yeah, everyone
Okay.
does it in their own way.
But we do actually have a cleric here.
Yeah, I might be able to guard you, but
Oh, do you, a woman, silvery kind of dress, a beautiful woman. It's hard to describe her. I was kind of in the moment. I don't remember too much about her.
did she say a name?
I didn't ask, which was very rude of me.
Yeah,
Usually I make
Garth,
it
you're
a
usually
point.
very polite.
Usually, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
yeah. That's
Usually I
not
ask a name.
facetious. That's
When I meet someone, I usually ask the name.
Yeah.
My bear was being attacked by a giant wolf. So
Giant
it's
so.
wolf.
So
Priority.
earlier when you said you just walked out in the woods and then woke up, there's a bit of a middle piece there that you didn't tell us.
a little bit.
You know what? That's fine. We're all allowed to have our secrets if you don't want to share.
It just seemed like I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
So,
I just spoke to Pixies. He got attacked by a god of war, and he's having dreams about crafting stuff, and he fought a rock. I think you're in good company right now.
gods tend to embody something. If you were to take a wild stab in the dark, what do you felt she represented or embodied?
Addis was mentioning something about Nylea when we were talking.
Now, Leah,
Kinda seemed like her? I don't know. I really don't know any of the gods.
Iska and Nylea had a thing for a while, if I recall. Yes.
Did they? What
She
year?
is
Flirting.
She is reputed to be very beautiful.
She was
Goddess.
very beautiful.
Goddess of the,
The
hunt.
wolves. Yeah, the
Oh,
wolves.
the
would
wolf
make
ties
sense.
in. It's possible.
Barry looks like he has like wolf fur, kind of a little bit, right? Little patches of wolf fur now. Frosty?
It's more
Frosty.
silvery.
Okay.
Would we know like difference between a bear and say a dire bear or something like that?
You might make a survival check.
Not my best skill. Who knows? Oh, a
I rolled
19.
a 7.
So, you would know a dire bear. Dire bear would be a lot bigger.
A lot barrier.
Yeah, a lot bigger.
Even more bear.
I mean, it's a good size for a black bear, right? Like this bear's. The interesting thing is that some of the fur seems stained, both from similar to age, but what it reminds you more of is sun staining. If something's been out in the sun, it kind of tans and lightens and goldens. But this is, instead of tanning into kind of golden turn color, this is silvery, blue, white hues. Almost like it was tanned by the moon. Just different patches of its fur kind of where the light would strike it. It looks like if it had been standing in moonlight, kind of the spots where the light would strike it have kind of been colored by the moonlight.
She did say something about an arrow I fired before, like a while ago, or something like that.
What'd she say?
She used the arrow I fired a while ago, or like something along those lines.
Sounds like something God or goddess might say. Oh, I'm like the reason you're a hunter. I'm the spirit of your hunting abilities. Oh my. Kind of like that, but less mocking.
Yeah, and then I drank Barry's blood.
You did what?
Oh. Oh. That escalated
There's a
very
lot
fast.
of unpack here, guy.
What? See, okay. Let me explain. I guess if it's something that you guys have never drank blood before, I guess it's just
No.
not a thing. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well,
So
At parties, probably was
That's
story.
right.
Only if
I
everyone
figured
else was drinking.
So
there might have been some things mixed in with the blood too.
Barry and the wolf were fighting.
My wilder youth.
I shot an arrow at the wolf. I missed. My fingers kind of fucked, so my shot was a little off. Usually I would hit the shot. It's a pretty easy shot. I missed, and Barry kind of died. It like
You shot
bit him.
Barry.
No, I
No,
didn't
he-
shoot Barry. I missed the wolf, and the wolf like bit Barry in the neck. You know, like a hunting wolf would. You go for a kill. And the lady told me to drink Barry's blood. So I did, and he like disappeared and came back fucking huge.
It sounds like somebody granted you a bigger, better berry.
Yeah.
'Cause it still seems to be berry, right? Berry,
Berry
do you want
nods.
some ale when we get back to camp?
Puts his hands out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
you
we've
see?
That's
established
him.
that.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's berry. He's just bigger and better. So, yeah.
Seems stronger. I'll have to wrestle him sometime. He never could beat me. Might have a chance now.
Well, I think this has been an eventful night. We've got more questions, which we didn't need. And I say we call it a night. I still have watch to do. Garth
Yeah.
and Addis, you've managed to get some sleep, but I imagine you're still quite tired. So let's
Yeah,
finish
a
up
little
our
bit.
rest for the night. And then tomorrow we'll continue on to Live a Soul.
All right.
good.
Before everyone leaves, though, Hadrian, let me know when I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say as they all leave, you stay
Yeah.
within the woods.
I'm gonna sort of pull out the sword and look at it, this weird dream blade. And I'm gonna cast divine favor on it so it starts to glow. I'm just gonna look around, take off my coats, and just like run it along one arm and then the other so that both are bleeding. I'm just gonna look at it like, hey, fucker, Mogus. Don't quite recall what you did to Ishgard. I don't think I care as much. At least you seem to admit what you are. A warmonger. That's fine. And yeah, maybe I am a warbringer. And if everything I've heard today is true, and I'm not just going crazy, which, let's face it, about a 70% chance that's what's going on here, it does seem like I'm going to be bringing war to beings beyond my kin. I will fight my brother. I will fight Jill. I will fight those who stand in my way and not rest until they are destroyed. But I'm not going to make war for war's sake. I seek not to rule or to crush beneath my feet or to glorify myself in battle. I can bring you wars the likes of which you would delight in. But I'll do it on my own fucking terms. I'm just gonna throw the blood onto the sword so that it coats it rather than dripping from it on my own. On its own. Put it back into its sheath. Pick up my coat so that blood does not get all over the insides of it. Sling it back over my shoulder. And just say, and next time we fight, I'm going to get that shot in on you. Go back to the camp.
What oath?
I don't know what oath that would be. I'm willing to talk about it.
We will chat about that later as you guys return to camp and settle in. This is where we're going to call it for tonight. We will pick up with Magnar and Westora's watch. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Once again, you can catch the past episodes on YouTube. Just look up Andromeda Adventures. There's also a link. Or at least there should be. We're going to work on that. And we hope to see you next week. And everyone, have a wonderful weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.